Spencer. We're swapped around again.
Huh?
We're swapped around again.
Yeah, but I know you do it on purpose.
Did it?
We're huge. Hang on.
No doubt. You had us all large and in charge.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, everybody. There we go. All right, Spencer makes me do everything. Golly.
Misty, guess what? I had a visitor last night. Had something
Did
go
you?
on. Yeah,
Really?
look, I went to sleep early this morning. I went to sleep about 3 o'clock, and I got up about 9. So I actually got some sleep. But look, my door, the glass storm door, that it latches like really good, and I'm really anal about making sure that I shut it really good, and it always latches. Double check it, and the latch is not like frail and weak. It latches really good. Well, this morning after I got up, I heard the door, like the wind blew it back. It hit the cooler. There's a cooler sitting out there. I got up, opened the main door, flipped the deadbolt, and unlocked the knob, and that something had opened that storm door, and it was just swinging back and forth. So something had to grab the handle. You have to push in on the door and then mash the thumb button really hard and open that door. But sometime between 3 a.m. and 9 o'clock this morning, something opened that storm door. Now, I can't tell you what it was, but I know something opened the storm door.
Wow.
Can I get this screen open a little bit?
Oh, hang on a second, y'all. My daughter's here.
That's all right. Tell her to whoop in there. She can sit down by you.
Hey, House.
Yeah.
You need to describe to people, though, what kind of latch you have on that storm door.
Yeah, it's not just it's a regular storm door latch, but it's one of the handles. It's like, kind of wide where it fastens to the door, but it comes down. It's just a handle it's straight down, but it don't have a bottom in it. It just, it's like just a lip, and you grab it and the bottom is open, and then when you have to mash it with a thumb button. It's not like when you catch it and the whole handle rolls, but you have to grab your hand and mash the thumb, and it's not one that rotates down like a lever, so something could paw it and push it down.
Right.
The way this door is, you have to get a hold of it and kind of push it in and then mash it real hard with your thumb and unlatch it. And y'all, this thing it ain't like the catch just barely grabs. I mean, it's got like probably 3/8 of an inch that catches over. It catches really good. And look, when I come in this place every time, it's like a ritual. When I step in, I reach back and catch that door and pull it. And I actually, to latch it, the inside part, the little tab, I actually like physically push it in and pull it shut, and then make sure it latches every time. Last night, it wasn't blowing around last night. The wind was blowing pretty good here, but 3 o'clock, I never heard anything. I went to sleep maybe a little after 3, but this morning when I got up, that door was undone and it was just swinging back and forth. So yeah, something's messing with my door.
And that's the same door, ain't it, that you had? Roger was down there, I think.
Yeah. That was when it was pulling on the door. I could hear it. It was like somebody had hold of it going boom, 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 boom.
The front door or the front
Right
door?
The one in the living room on the small porch where we park.
Yeah.
The glass door.
Yes, the glass door is what.
Okay, you gotta pull it to latch it shut, and you can hear it click when you pull it.
Oh yeah. But something. Look, if it was somebody had come up here wanting to get a hold of me or something, they would have at least knocked. And surely to God, when they had left, if I didn't answer or didn't hear them, they would have at least shut the door.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, I'm a pretty light sleeper anyway, because obviously a lot of stuff goes on. But yeah, that door was undone this morning. So I don't know. I can't tell you what done it, but I got a good idea what it was. But yeah, Spencer, that's the same one that Roger took the picture of the hair, like it looked like a big arm and touched the door.
Yes.
Same door.
Roger found a greasy arm, part of a hand print with hair hanging down on it. Well, at least that's what it looks like. But
yeah.
Anyway, and then if you weigh in all the other stuff that's happened at the man cave, I mean, I think if you're open-minded, I think everybody has a good idea of what it was that would have done it. My only question is, if they're coming up, if they're not delivering Girl Scout cookies, they're just opening your damn door. Are you keeping the inside door like double lock? You've got like,
I've got, I'll just tell you on that door where the striker plate for the regular doorknob latch, the little screws that come with it, I've got like the 3.5 inch Torx head screws buried plumb into the casing and into the frame. And then I've got a deadbolt, and I made sure that where the deadbolt striker is, it's got screws like that long, like the we call it like the concrete screws. Got the big jump. Yeah.
Yeah. So they can pick up a damn 24-foot RV, but 3-inch Torx head screws is going to stop them. Good for you.
At least it's going to make more racket when they come through. It's all I can tell you.
Yeah, it's going to make more racket when they tear the wall down. Yeah.
Yeah, look, that's the reason. Look, dude, when I sleep, if I'm asleep, I just lay my hand over on a 357 Magnum too. So, yeah.
What's funny is, y'all, if you don't know this, Greg's chair is that he sleeps in is about 4 feet away from that door right there. If they come in through the door, he's right there.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, but look, I'm a light sleeper, and I can't throw my hat in any direction, not hit a loaded firearm in this building. So, that's the way I roll.
Yeah, no, there's even some stacked up back there where I sleep.
There's some up everywhere. Hey, we got guests backstage. Reckon we all bring them out.
Man, yeah, we got some awesome
guests to hear. Hey, before we do, I got to say, this is the first time that they're even talking to each other about this, about what happened. And I talked to Billy about it a few days ago whenever we were going to have him on the show last week. And when I got to talking to him, we talked for almost 4 hours, maybe over 4 hours. And we talked about a lot of stuff that happened and a lot of the stuff that happened to me while we were there. And it's weird how all the stuff that everybody was experiencing all tied in together. We'll get into that, but I wanted Jens to know this is literally the first time that they're all speaking to each other about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, Billy.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, girls.
There's my sisters.
Hey. Everybody's sisters and brothers here.
Amen.
Right.
Go ahead, Squirrel.
No. Oh, no. I set the show up. You go ahead. I'm working.
That's right, but you're doing a good job. You take the lead.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Look,
that's on y'all. You know how this works.
Yeah, but you know more about it than we do, because you just said you talked to him 4 hours.
Hey, Aubrey. Hey, Walker. Tell my grandkids hi.
Here?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Chat's moving so fast I can't. There's Walker. Hey, Walker. I don't know where the girls are.
It's under Bree. Aubrey is under Bree.
Brio too.
I'm just proud we got Sherry and Donna and Billy on today. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad. Hey, Billy. Hey, Billy.
Hey, kids.
Well, I guess you could set the stage with, what you're going to be telling everybody about is what happened at the meet and greet in Hollins.
Well, Alabama.
Well, Shirley, I think we'll tell you something about what happened to us at Daniel Boone first, if that's all right.
The reason well, the reason I was going to do it was because it's kind of the same thing happened to me at the other one, the second one, and I never had it happen before. Well, how many of us were left that night at Daniel Boone
Greg
last
had
year?
never done left, so it was us, it was Misty, it was Debbie and Larry, and that was about it, wasn't it?
Was Mark still there?
No, I
No,
don't
Mark
think
was
so.
there too. There was just
No,
a handful.
Mark was there. Mark was there. Yeah.
There was just a handful of us, and sitting out there the last night around the fire, and we blowed my shofar some, did some calls and stuff, and I think it was about 2:00, and me and Jim finally went to bed because we were getting tired. Well, Donna and Debbie went driving down the road to look for the ones that went walking, Misty and them, because we were getting worried, and she come to bed about 2:30. About 2:30, or I guess it's a little earlier than that when I went. Yeah. Anyway, well, I was laying there. I was asleep. I heard her come in. I went right back to sleep. And a little while later, after I'd been asleep, now I always put my gun under my head, but I didn't that night. We were going home the next day, and I had a box sitting there with that stuff I take out of my pockets. I just took my gun off and laid it there, and I heard something take its finger on the back side of the tent,
we both did,
that door, and take its finger and run it down the zipper, the fingernail.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was asleep when it started happening, and I couldn't get awake. I got awake, but it wasn't like I couldn't get awake. It's like something wouldn't let me get awake, and I couldn't move. I like to never got my legs and arms to move, and when I finally did, I could just barely inch over, and I got over there and got my gun and went back. I was in the floor. Donna was in the cot here, and Jim was in the cot here, and I was in the floor in the middle. And I crawled over and got my gun and put it under my head, my pillow. And then I didn't know what it had. What started it, though, I'm sorry. What started it was the owls came in. Mm-hmm. I mean, loud and fast.
Yeah.
And the first thing that went through my head, I said, "Oh God, we've called them all in." And that's when I started trying to move. And I couldn't move. I couldn't control my body. And then the other stuff happened. And then Donna tells me the next morning
that I heard the fingernail go down the zipper, and that I was laying there. I didn't know that Sherry was awake, and I had my gun on my cot, of course, with me. And all at once, I felt the tent come in, and it's just like something just barely, I could just feel something just barely pressing on my shoulder, and I jerked, and whenever I jerked, it went back.
It went back.
And the next morning, Sherry and I did find a footprint by the door there.
The back tent door.
Yeah. And so, there was
was this after everything, after everybody had left?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were leaving that next morning.
So you stayed an extra night?
Yes.
You
and
stayed
Debbie and
with
Larry.
us. That was the last night that we stayed at Daniel Boone. And Debbie and Larry was over there next to you and Mark, remember?
Didn't you ride with us on that trip?
Yeah, but I'm so confused right now.
Sorry.
Are we talking about Daniel Boone, or are we talking about
Daniel Boone?
Daniel Boone.
Billy wasn't at the Daniel Boone trip.
No,
that's what we're saying. We just wanted to tell you this.
I wanted to tell you this to start with because of because the same thing happens to me in Alabama as happened there.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure that.
Sorry, guys.
Listen, it's been a day. It's been a day yesterday. I was sick. I didn't even know if I was going to make it on here today. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody knows what's going on and what trip we're talking about.
Yeah.
She was leading up from Daniel Boone to the trip with.
It was the not being able to move and control myself is what got me.
At Daniel Boone.
I
know that we found tracks. At Daniel Boone was where I had stuff come up to my tent too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
Okay, I was just making sure. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We was leading up. We didn't want to.
Okay, we're done. We're done.
No, see, look, I wasn't the only one. Thank you. Okay.
Sorry. I just want you to. I've never had that happen to me where I could not move. In my head, it was just like my head was swimming and crazy, and I couldn't control my body with it.
Yeah.
Okay. It touched Donna on the head, I think, didn't it?
The what?
I said it touched you on the head or something, didn't it?
Not me.
No, it touched my shoulder through the tent.
Well,
I have
Say
sleep
that
in
till
no
the day I
crib.
die.
I'm not gonna be no daggum sack lunch. Well,
Now you're going to Hollins.
yeah.
Hey, look,
So,
Thank
it
you,
doesn't
Bama.
take much, but I'm telling you, I'm just trying to make sure what's going on here.
well, y'all kind of set the stage on kind of like y'all's who got Hollins first, when y'all got there, and kind of lead us into the whole deal.
Hold
Billy,
on.
you want to start?
Before you go to the Hollins thing, this is great. This is great. I love it. I love it. I get blamed for everything. Anyway,
This is your fault because you had it all confused the last time. So I'm just trying to make sure what's going on.
I wasn't talking about Daniel Boone or anything else. Hold on. For everybody
We
watching,
interrupt this program.
Hillary, where's the disclaimer?
for everybody watching the show, what Sherry and Donna were just talking about, there was a small outing. It was a private thing with only some of us. It was not a meet and greet.
Right.
Yes.
At Daniel Boone, it was to a place where a bunch of us have been many times. It's a very active area. What they were, I wasn't there, so I can't speak for any of this. I was supposed to be truck broke down, but what they're describing is what happened to them at Daniel Boone National Forest. The way that this whole show even got started is because the last time that we did live, it was the last time, wasn't it? Whenever we brought Billy in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Billy actually experienced something at the last meet and greet. Sherry and Donna did too. They were there with him.
Mm-hmm.
But what's funny is what Misty keeps talking about. This is the first time that they're talking to each other about it. Here's the interesting thing. There was a ton of people at the Hollins meet and greet in Alabama, the last meet and greet that we did.
Yeah.
People arrived at different dates. So starting on whatever it was, Monday or Tuesday, some people got there. A lot of people didn't get there till Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the days got confused with a lot of us. Like whenever I was hearing it, I was thinking that they were talking about Saturday night. I think it was whenever we walked up there. That's what I was thinking. I was wrong on that. They were talking about whatever, Friday or
Tuesday.
Saturday or Thursday, whatever. So a lot of this, you have to understand with 100 and some people, 120 people, it's hard communicating the details. And everybody just now figuring out kind of the way that it all went together. So Sherry and Donna started off with what happened in Daniel Boone. I think Sherry was trying to explain, she can correct me, but the point of what she was saying was that it did something to her where she couldn't really remember it or think clearly or whatnot. Whenever Billy started explaining on the last live show about what he experienced, his big point in that was he didn't really remember it until somebody reminded him about it. So what we're going to talk about now is the Hollins meet and greet, where Billy and Sherry and Donna actually all experienced something, but everybody was like disconnected and discombobulated, and we didn't put all of this stuff together until here recently. So understand there's confusion, and we're not trying to be confusing, but there was a lot of people and it was spread out over different days.
Mm-hmm.
So going from the get-go, I was not there whenever everybody started to get to Hollins. What was the first day? Who got there first and what day was it? And kind of walk in from that point.
Billy did. Billy was there
Not
before
this
us.
group I did.
But we got there on Tuesday night.
You got there the same day I did, but late.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But
So, Billy, you
I'm
start
the
off.
first one out of this group that got there. I went down early. Mark still had some firewood he wanted to get, and had to set his camper up, and just several things. And he also had to go to work, and he wanted somebody to kind of be there to help position where campers were going to go, tents were going to go, that kind of thing. So I actually got there to start. I was one of there was 4 or 5 people on the property at the time I got there.
Mm-hmm.
They had one guy, Paul, he had been there since Monday. I think David and Kathy and one of David's friends were there also. And as far as I know, that was all that was on the park, unless Joe and Pat had got there.
Rebecca come in after you, didn't she? Mark,
Rebecca? Yes. Mark had to go to work, so he wanted to come and set the camper up. Then he went back, and Becca came over, and she wanted to spend the night.
Yeah.
Mark was a little nervous about it because how far you want me to go back, Spencer? You want me to go all the way back to where Mark gets on the property?
Yeah.
Okay. Things started happening.
Everybody in.
Yeah, hey, that's what I was going to say. Not just the boogery stuff, but we all had already talked about everything weird that had been happening with people getting sick and stuff like that. You had that man come up. If it was strange and odd or out of place as you're telling it, if you don't care, kind of add all of it in. That way everybody kind of figures out, because when we started out, I think we kind of got everything confused. I was confused, so I got everybody else confused. Mm-hmm. But that way it kind of makes more sense, because we have talked about some of the other stuff.
When we started out, we got everybody confused.
Yeah.
Big word right now. We.
I said it was at Daniel Boone, but you didn't hear me.
I wasn't in here. Layla had came in, so I apparently missed that. That's why I was asking.
Okay.
Billy, all we want you to do is we want you to be like Bob Ross, but with words instead of paint. We want the whole picture.
Okay.
Happy little
When I finally made it, when I finally got there, I called Spencer. I said, I think I'm here, brother. I'm pulling in, going up the hill. And he starts telling me, turn your recorder on now. I said, man, I ain't no researcher. I ain't got a recorder. I come down to see people. Yeah. And I pull on up to the top of the hill. There's David Beasley and his wife, Kathy, and a friend of David's. I don't remember his name right off. And I just pulled in and started talking to him, because Mark hadn't gotten there yet. And David starts talking about, man, last night, he said, something was right over there in that little spot. And it had red eyes. I said, did y'all hit it with a light? He said, no. I said, was it getting lights off the camper? He said, I don't think so. It's so far out. I don't think it was that. Nothing. It just seemed like it generated the light. Well, I don't know nothing about all that. Like I said, I'm not a researcher. I love these people. But anyway, Mark came in probably 20 minutes after I got there. And I was there early to help him set up. We kind of coordinated and knew about what time each of us was going to get there. And I was going to help him set his camper up. Well, we pulled on down in the field when he got there, and he found his little spot he wanted to park. And I jumped out of the truck. He got out of his truck, and we started setting the camper up, leveling things up. And I'm hearing sticks break, just cracks. Sound like dry sticks. It didn't sound like green sticks, but didn't sound like very big sticks, just branches breaking. And, Mark said, you hear that? I said, yeah. He said, I don't know, might be some company here already. Well, I don't think nothing about it. Not paying a bit of attention to it. Billy does love Bama. But yeah, it's we're just going about our business. And all of a sudden I smell something. Mark says, you smell that? I said, smells like cow manure, man. He said, yeah, but there ain't a cow for 10 miles of here. So we're already hearing things and smelling things. Well, we went on and set up the camper and got it done. I pulled on down to where I actually parked at. for the week. And Mark came down a little while later and said, he said, Billy, Becca wants to spend the weekend. She wants to stay tonight. I said, okay. I said, what you need? He said, I don't feel comfortable going to work and leaving her here. And I asked her who she would like to be kind of hanging around watching out for, you know. And she said me. Well, I was really impressed because I didn't think Becca liked me. I'll just be straight up honest. I was really impressed with that. And I told him, I said, man, you got it. I said, you don't have to worry about Becca. I said, I got her covered. If they get her, they'll find me first. And he said, that's all I need to hear, man. Said, you just take care of her and watch after her. I said, I sure will. Well, I cranked my truck up and I pulled it in Mark's front door. He come out, he said, what are you doing, man? I said, I'm gonna park right here. He said, you don't have to do that. Go on back where you had your camp set up. I said, nope, I'm parking right here because if she's my responsibility, I'm taking full responsibility. He said, you don't have to do that. And I said, nope. Well, he went on, goes to work. He knew Becca was covered. And she was in the camper fiddling around. I'm sitting in the truck, nothing going on. And she pops out and says, I'm going to see Pat and Joe. I didn't even know Pat and Joe were there at the time. And I said, what? And it's getting close to going toward dark, you know. She said, I'm going to see Pat and Joe. And I said, now? She said, yeah. I said, well, let me get my gun. Oh, excuse me. I ain't supposed to say gun on here. But, I reached in the truck, got my pistol. And I said, all right, let's go. So we walked down. We went down. There's a little corner of trees, smaller trees, but it's really thick. So we just walked down the road and turned, followed the road down, you know. And that added a few extra steps to that. But we get down to Pat and Joe's, and they're getting ready to have supper. Pat says, hold on a minute. Come up. Come help me, Becca. Said, we got to throw some more food on. We didn't know y'all were coming. I said, oh, you don't have to feed us. And she wouldn't have no part of that. You done entered Pat's kitchen then. She's the boss now, so you're going to eat. So I'm holding sister on a leash. And I start hearing those same daggone, the limbs are popping, just cracking. And I'm looking out in the woods. I stood up, you know, I got sister and I'm looking down in the woods and Joe said, man, you see something? I said, I don't know what I don't see anything, but I'm hearing sticks popping. I turned back to look at Joe. And when I did, I seen sister and she's trained in right on the spot that I was looking at. So I know I'm hearing something. Shortly after that, they come out with all the food and it's Paul and I think Stephen may have been with there. It was Paul and I think Stephen, myself, Rebecca, and Pat. And everybody's sitting around eating. And Rebecca said she wasn't going to eat. She had done been snacking while she was cooking or something. I don't know what she said exactly. So she took sister and she's standing about the same spot I was. And we're sitting down to eat. There's a grill there that they had unloaded and it was up under the canopy of the camper. And Rebecca was standing there and everybody's talking and eating, you know, and all of a sudden she kind of leaned over on the grill and put her elbow on the grill. And about 2 or 3 seconds after her elbow hit that grill, something went ping. And I just caught a glimpse of it come off the grill and go up under toward the camper. I never actually saw what it was. And Becca jumped up and she said, oh my God, did you see that? I said, I heard it. And I caught a glimpse of it. She said, this don't happen to me. This just don't happen to me. Something just throwed a rock at me. Well, first thing I do, I look up. I'm thinking it's an acorn. Can't be an acorn because the grill's under the canopy. Can't be an acorn. This rock was lobbed in and came in and hit the top of the grill probably about an inch, maybe 2 from Rebecca's elbow and bounced off the grill and went up under the camper. And Rebecca was about ready to go after that. She's kind of ready to go on back to her camper, you know. And pretty much we sat around, talked a little bit, finished eating, thanked everybody for the food, and told them we'd see them later. And I walked Rebecca back to her camp. Well, I'm sitting there. It done got dark. I'm just sitting in the truck, and Cryptic Crystal, she pulls up. She pulls across the little dirt road from where we're sitting. Man, she's turning on the air conditioner. She's cutting off the air, cranking the car, just on and on and on. And I know that they had done drove 17, I think, and a half hours, I think, to get there with a little young guy in the car with her. And they're trying to go to sleep in this car that they done been in for almost a day. And she's trying to get comfortable, and the lights come on, and I'm sitting there saying, Lord God, they're going to have to cut this thing off because it's keeping, I can't get no sleep with that going on all night. And finally it calmed down just a tad, and I dozed off. Well, the next thing, I'm sitting there in the truck, Becca's in the truck asleep. She's got to get up early in the morning and go to work. And she's already asleep. And I opened my eyes up and I looked down toward where we were camping, and it's lights. Man, there's little lights going everywhere. I said, what in the heck am I looking at now? And I kept sitting there watching it. I said, what is this? Finally, I just had all I could take. I got to walk down through here and see what that is. Something's got lights flashing all over the place. Well, turns out it was Sherry and Donna, Mr. Jim. And they were setting up camp. They all had on headlamps. They all had hand flashlights. And one would say, where's this? And all the headlights would shine off and go off over in one direction. And then here comes the bottom light. The hand lights were flashing around. And it looked like, I thought, man, we're getting invaded down here or something. I don't know what this is. Kind of freaked me out when I seen it, because I didn't have a clue what was going on down there. I have no idea. I must have really went to sleep, because they came by me pulling their trailer and I never heard nothing. They backed it in, got it where they wanted it set, everything, and was out. I guess the lights flashing must have woke me up. I don't know. So I fool around down there helping them get set up just so they could go to sleep, Well, they had a different idea than I did. They weren't quite as tired as I was or something, because they want to go walking. I said, good. Tonight, it's probably 1 o'clock, maybe 1:30. They said, yeah, let's go tonight. I said, I'm tired. They said, well, you going to go to bed and we're going to go. I said, oh, no, that ain't going to happen. Y'all ain't going up in that mountain by yourself. I don't know nothing about this place, but I done already heard stories from Paul. I done heard stories from David. I done seen rocks get thrown. I done heard branches breaking. I smell cow manure. Something ain't right with this picture. They ain't going in the woods by themselves. So I strap up and we take on off. Now, I'm a believer. I believe they're out there. I'm just not a researcher. But every time I go in the woods, if I carry a gun, which is almost every time, I always talk in my head, just in case these things understand your thoughts. That may not make sense, but I've heard so many stories about things understanding your thoughts. And I'm going up starting to walk in to what they call the ridge where the green field's at. I don't know if any of you know anything about the green field, but the green field's got a reputation. And that's where they want to go, of course. I ain't real keen on this idea, but hey, we're going to the green field. And I'm talking to this thing in my head. I say, hey, now, big man, if y'all up in here, I do have a weapon. I actually have two. And you won't never see them unless you bother these girls or myself. That's a promise. Now, I'm not coming in here to cause you no harm, not coming in here to cause you no havoc. I believe I'm in your home, and I'm going to respect it like your home. Well, all this going in my head, I don't know if it's just rattling around in there, if it's going to bounce out, or if something's actually understanding. We go on and pass through the gate. We start walking. We hadn't walked maybe 40 yards, 50 yards maybe, and we spot what we think must be a bunch of deer. And we were stopping on the side. Now, this is my side. I don't know what the girls saw. I haven't talked to them about it. We just haven't, not because we didn't want to talk about it. We just hadn't got together to talk about it.
Yeah.
At this point, everything's, but anyway, we went on up and we see deer, we think. Then we went on up a little farther and we saw another pack of something, which to me looked skinnier, looked shorter. I'm thinking coyotes. I'm thinking they're probably following the deer. I don't know what the girls thought they were.
Yep.
And we went on. They're standing there looking at this second pack of stuff, of animals. I kind of walked on off. I wasn't getting too far from them, but I was probably 35 yards, maybe 40 yards away from them. Don't know why I even looked where I looked. And I've just, before I go any further, I'm going to just say, I really don't care what people think. I really don't worry about what they think about what I tell them. I'm not known as a liar. I'm not known as a storyteller. I'm not really known as a big bullshitter whatsoever. You know, I've been in this world a long time. But I hit something with my light that I tried every way in my mind to make that look like a root ball off of a fallen tree.
Mm-hmm.
I tried everything in my mind to make that look like something I had seen before. Now, this thing, honestly, it had its back turned to us, the best I could tell. It honestly, it looked like a female peeing in the woods. That's the position it was sitting in. It looked like a female that just squatted down right there in that spot. They're like 15 yards in the woods from me. The girls hadn't got up to me. I'm trying to come up with something in my mind that this was, but it ain't moving. I don't see legs. I don't see hands. I don't see a butt crack. I see a back, and that's about all I could really see was a back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not coming up with no answers of what I'm looking at. And Sherry walks up. I still don't know exactly. Donna couldn't have been far behind, but I don't remember Donna walking up. And I said, girls, are y'all seeing what I see? Donna, Sherry started going, oh my God. Oh my God.
I was excited.
Say, Billy, let me interrupt right there just a minute. Whenever where I wasn't there, I heard a growl behind me.
Oh,
and
crap.
Then I walked up.
See, now, I didn't know that.
I said, I
didn't know that. Y'all probably in the woods by yourself. Something went growling at me. I felt no fear at all. I didn't hear nothing. I hadn't seen, like I said, I didn't see anything. I'm still trying to make it looked like red Virginia clay is what it looked like. It was kind of I tell people now that to describe the color and just for description purposes only, if you've ever been around bird dogs, a Brittany Spaniel's head color, kind of a reddish, ruddy red to a bright red-ish brown. I don't know what else to call it.
And then that's whenever I run up to Yuns when I heard that growl, that guttural growl.
Well, I'm still doing the, are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? And Sherry she's stuck with the same thing. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's all she said. And she's trying to click pictures. Well, I haven't still yet to see Donna. And I whistled. God Almighty, I didn't know that was a sacred law in the woods. You know, don't whistle in the woods. About the time I whistled, I seen this. Donna hit me in the back. Bam. I turned and looked at her. She said, don't whistle in the woods. Don't you know better than whistle in the woods? I thought, Jesus Christ, I done broke the rules. I done broke all the rules here. You shouldn't have brought me up here. I'm not a researcher. I don't get it. I don't know. But anyway, I seen its head. That was the first point when its head raised up and bobbed back down at that whistle. I seen its head.
Yep.
I knew it was an animal. I knew it wasn't a bear. I knew it wasn't a deer. I knew it wasn't a squirrel, a dog, a monkey, maybe. I don't know what that thing was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you look at the first of the show, it says, I can't tell you what it was, but I can tell you what it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can tell you about it. I can tell you what it wasn't. That thing was there. The girls saw it.
Yes, sir.
At least I think they saw it.
Yes, sir. We did.
I think you had to. We were 15 yards away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sat there. It never, to my memory, it never turned and looked at me. It always sat with its back away from us. Yes, Bama. And it always sat with its back to me. You know, I felt like it was like a ostrich. You stick your head in the sand. I can't see you and you can't see me things the way I felt. I don't know. I didn't have any fear of it. I never felt fear whatsoever. I felt just comfortable as I could be standing right there. I was seeing something I'd never seen before.
Yep.
I think they were following us from the bottom all the way up, down off over the bank.
So I've had other people give me their interpretation and their thoughts on it, and I'm not trying.
I'm sorry. If you was walking up the hill, all this, you seen it over to the right? Like
to the right hand side. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because we kept hearing stuff when I walked up and down through there. I don't know how many times with different groups of people, and you could hear and limbs break, like you was talking about, just small sticks, like where something was walking.
Yes.
But why would a deer track you? And I'm not saying it's not a coyote or something like that, but the whole time we were walking, I'd stop and I'd be like, there's something following us. Do y'all hear the sticks breaking, the limbs breaking, or you'd hear just a little noise? Or I just want to make sure it was on the same side, because that's the side that I was hearing stuff walking to, was over on the right side.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yep. Yeah. You and I went up there actually. I believe it was Thursday. I believe y'all got that Thursday night. We went up actually Thursday night together, and you were kept focused on the left-hand side. I was worried about what was going to get you from the right-hand side, because I didn't see it on the right.
We'll talk about that here in just a second, because it kind of all ties in with this too. And that's what's so strange about it, because none of us knew anything, because like you said,
a lot of things happen.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen. I mean, from the minute I shut my truck door to the minute I closed it the next time when I left, a lot of things happened that I was either witness of or got privy to. Now, I don't know what the girls saw, but they want me to tell my side of what I saw, what I think I saw. After Donna smacked me in the back.
Sorry.
I'm still trying to keep my flashlight toned in on this thing, because I don't know whether it's going to break loose running away, or it's going to run at us, or shoot, man, I don't know what this dude's going to do. I've never seen nothing like this. I don't know what it's going to do.
We stopped quite a few places up through there, and use those colored lights like we've got, because we were hearing stuff out to the right. And when we got up there, we were there a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I stopped and had my light trained back on it again. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Donna. I'm looking at her through my provincial, you know what I'm talking about, outside of my eyes. And she hit that thing with a pretty bright light. And when her light came on, I'm looking at it, it's red. I ain't no doubt in my mind, I'm seeing a red, hairy critter. She hit it with her light, and I see an outline of this thing that looks like leaves blowing in a breeze. I don't see the booger no more. Whatever that is, I'm not calling that a souped up monkey. I'm talking about, I don't see whatever it is down there got us startled. When I call it a booger, we could just call everything that scares us a booger. But it startled us. I'm not seeing that no more. I'm seeing leaves, a bush. Imagine a bush with leaves 4 or 5 inches long, 3 or 4 inches long, and the leaves are shimmering. And that's the only way I know to describe that. And from there, that was the last thing I remember till the next morning.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what girls, they can tell their part to there, or you want me to keep on telling?
Oh, hold on. Before the girls jump in, describe the shimmering.
I don't know any way to describe it other than a bush with 2 or 3, maybe 4 inch long leaves on it with a breeze blowing through it. It was just like that. You know, it was like leaves blowing. I can see what I think is the silhouette of what I had saw, but now it looks like any bush in the woods. It's shimmering though.
Billy, I think you told me before when me and you talked about this that it's like nothing else but that was shimmering.
Exactly. It wasn't even a breeze blowing at night. It actually got pretty daggone hot and humid during the afternoon.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a breeze blowing at night. It was
So basically this is the only thing that you're seeing that's actually moving is that one thing.
Well, I'm sighted in on that area, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm not really out here sightseeing and seeing the trees but all I saw was that area that I thought that thing should be set in, shimmering, or it had some shine to it, Bama. Yes, it did have some shine to it. But that's the only thing I saw. It was like a breeze blowing through leaves that I saw. And
just so we're clear.
Okay.
What you were looking at from the beginning looked like possibly a booger, but reddish in color. You were looking at it and going, holy shit, I think that's a booger. At one point, it moved its head up and down whenever you whistled.
Yes.
And then at some point, you were looking at it and it went from being looking like possibly a booger or an animal, something, to a bush that was shimmering.
Yes.
And nothing around that one area right there was shimmering. Nothing
that I saw. I mean, my eye is trained in on this thing because I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if it's going to go ape shit crazy on us. I don't know. I'm looking at that thing.
Yeah. I had taken some colored lights, flashlights. I mean, on the pictures, you'll see Donna had a blue that was using a blue one that night, and I think that's part of what was, not the light, but I think I've been studying the light sources, to use, and what other people, and I've got red and green and purple, and red, green, blue, red, green, and blue, and we've been using those, and it seems like. I don't know if it's, because I do honestly think they cloak. And I think those lights, I think they cloak. And I think those lights, they can't cloak from that color or something.
Well, trying to understand this second by second, we could go over a bunch of stuff. Everybody that is going to watch this show is into the Bigfoot subject. Everybody knows about, like, hey, maybe some of the hair is clear. Maybe the hair reflects light a little bit differently. Everybody knows about the whole possibility of them cloaking. I was talking to Billy the other day, just 2 days ago, and we were talking about infrasound, which he's going to get to that point here in 1 minute, but I want everybody to kind of stop and think about this for a second. Think just 1 second here. Greg, do you remember talking about, was it you and Cheryl or you and Jimmy Osmer standing there, and if you turned your head one way, you could hear the buzzing, but if you turned back towards it, you couldn't? Was it?
Yeah, it was absolute directional sound, and it was me and Cheryl. Cheryl was standing to my left. I could reach out and touch Cheryl with my left hand. We were facing the same way, and we were looking straight at Troy Allen. I could have reached out and touched Troy's nose in front of me, and Cheryl to the left. So Cheryl and I were facing the same way, and Troy was facing the opposite. And Cheryl's going, "Are y'all hearing that?" And I, honest to God, thought it was like sinus trouble, and it was like a squeal, but it was in my left ear, and I thought it was just my left ear. Something was going on. It was like pressure, and it was just like a super high pitched squeal. And when I'd move my head, it would go away and come back, but it was almost like a just a real high pitched squeal. And Cheryl said, "Y'all hearing that?" I said, "Well, man, I can't hear nothing. My sinuses or something messed up." I said, "My left ear's squealing." He said, "No, that's what I'm talking about." He said, "You hear that?" And I said, "Yeah, I hear it." I said, "I thought it was something wrong with my ear." And Troy goes, "Well, I'm hearing it too." And we're sitting there and we're talking about it. And, you know, I'm looking around, we're all looking around. And there's like, when I would rotate my head, it would be like if you had a water hose squirting just a stream. And if you turned your head just right, it would hit in your eardrum. And I stopped for a second. I said, hey, let me ask you something. What? I said, Cheryl, are you hearing it in both ears? He's like, no. I said, which ear are you hearing it in? He goes, my left ear. I said, Troy, which ear are you hearing it in? He goes, I'm hearing it in my right ear. And then that's when it's like, you know, like the light bulb went off. It's like, I could turn all the way around and face the other way. And when this side would line up that direction, I could hear it in this ear. And we all three stood there and we would turn. You could turn your head. And honest to God, it was like it had to be whatever ear you were hearing it in was coming from that one area. You couldn't hear it. You could look straight at it the way we figured out it was. And you could look at it, you couldn't hear it. When you could turn your head, as soon as your head hit a certain spot, you could hear it in that ear. And look, y'all, I've never had anything like that. That's the wildest crap ever.
This for everybody that watches this video, if you're going out in the field, if you're actually looking for these, this is just my opinion. I mean, I think I've gotten zapped before, but just hear me out on this and think about what I'm saying. Greg is talking about pressure. I know what he's talking about because I've experienced that too. We've all experienced the creepy feels where it almost feels like static electricity in the air. If you get around these things, there's something in the atmosphere that is there. I don't know how to articulate it really good, but you're made aware that they're there. They give off something that lets you know that they're there. I guess maybe whenever they want you to know. But my point being, with what Greg is talking about, where it's kind of like a directional thing, if there's 2 or 3 people standing together, let's say for the sake of argument, leave out cloaking, leave out woo, leave out the supernatural, leave out all that kind of stuff for 1 minute and just think about this. If they produce something that is directional, some kind of energy that is pointed at you, is it possible that they're doing something where they're trying to make you leave? They don't want you to see them. We know for a fact that animals can direct infrasound. Kubo has talked about, well, I mean, a bunch of people have talked about, I mean, science backed, you can direct infrasound and ultrasound and actually use it as a weapon that jiggles your organs on the inside, makes you sick, makes you feel very uncomfortable, all of this kind of stuff, okay? If something is 15 yards away and it is focusing a beam of whatever at you, there is a high probability that whenever it starts messing with you, maybe your brain doesn't process what's going on right. Maybe it messes with something inside of you that makes you not perceive what's actually happening. So from that point of view, think about this. If Billy's there looking at it, Donna slaps the shit out of him. Sherry's nice, so she doesn't. But anyway,
She's still saying, "Oh my God."
But if they start shining lights on it,
They might slap me near as hard as I would have Spencer.
if they're shining lights on it and they're all focused on it, then all of a sudden something goes from distinguishable. They don't know what it is, but they're looking at it and they're seeing what they think could possibly be a booger. And then it turns into something that looks like a bush with shimmering lights, a sheen.
Glisten.
What?
A glisten.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right.
But doesn't, I'm not trying to persuade anybody one way or the other, but doesn't it make sense, though, that it went from something that you're looking at, then it starts emitting something, and now it looks like something else because it scrambles something inside of you? I think that's an important part, and I think that you guys should pay attention to that if you're going out in the woods.
Yep.
I totally agree. I mean, I have no other choice but to agree.
It happened to me too at Greg's. I had never had it happen till then, and I got sick. Me and Mark was standing on the back porch first thing in the mornings. I was getting cleaned up. We were going somewhere.
We cannot go from Daniel Boone to Hollins.
Hey, it's all Alabama. We're still in Alabama.
Yeah. Now, there's more for Alabama, trust me.
We're gonna
Just kidding.
I know.
and everybody's going to be completely screwed. Anyway.
Yeah.
You were
Go
talking
back,
about it
Billy.
being directional like a weapon, and
Yeah.
you know how Greg could turn his head and they could only hear it like in one ear. That's exactly the way it happened to me. I was looking off the back porch and I felt like I was going to get really sick, and I turned around and looked at Mark and I was like, I feel like I'm going to throw up, and he said, "Are you okay?" But when I turned around and looked at him, it started going away. And when I would turn back around and look straight back the way I was looking, I kept getting sick. But if I left that spot, I was fine. That was the point I was trying to make.
I mean, that's a valid point. But Billy, go back. All right, we're back to the point of this thing shimmering. You're looking at it, trying to figure out where it went, what happened to it. And I know that had to be confusing. Had to be horribly confusing. So
I really don't know, Greg. I really can't tell you where that thing went, because shortly after I seen that is the last thing I remember till the next morning.
wow.
And you know, the really crazy thing about it, again, Sherry and Donna and I haven't spoke. We haven't talked about it at all.
Nope.
She sent me a picture, and I don't ever see nothing in these pictures. You know, I hate to be a party pooper, but everybody's saying, look right there where the red circle is. I see junk. I don't know what it is. I've not jumped on the picture bandwagon. Let's say that, you know, I just don't see it. Some people's eyes see things different, I guess.
Yeah.
But that made me start thinking, because what I think I see in this picture isn't red, it's brown. And it isn't looking away from us. I see eye shine.
Yeah.
Nothing ever looked at me that I know of at all, that I know of. What I seen looked like a female peeing in the woods. And that's all I saw the whole time I was up there. Well, I keep this, you know, I've been pondering this thing around. I've had guilty feelings about it. I know there's people that spent 10, 12, 14 years of their life or their whole life that never got to see one. Why me? You know, I felt bad because I'm with people that's been doing this a long time. I've only been hanging out with this bunch here for 3 years. And, you know, I go to those things to see the people. I want to meet the people I talk to every week. I want to meet the people that I've developed friendships with, that we call each other, we talk. That's why I go. I don't go for the boogers. I don't go for the get scared of somebody to death. But you know, that was the last thing I remembered. And I played this thing through my mind for 2.5, 3 months and not spoke to the girls at all. And all of a sudden I just can't stand it no more, because now I don't remember leaving. I don't remember seeing nothing looking at me. I don't remember seeing anything that was that brown. I called Sherry. I said, Sherry.
That's interesting.
I called Sherry and I said, why did we leave? Who said, let's go? She said, I don't know. I said, well, did I say, get your stuff, we're going back? Did Donna take off running? Did we run down the hill? Did we walk down the hill? Did we sit on our butts and scoot all the way back to the truck? I don't know how I got. And I said, what do you remember? She said, honestly, I think the first thing I remember after we seen that, we were back at my camper. I said, okay, what did I do? She said, well, I asked you if you were going to bed, and you said, I'm tired, and you just kept on walking. You said, I'm tired and I'm going to bed, and I just kept on walking, and I walked on off in the dark.
Yeah.
Well, now I don't remember that. Very strange, because I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
You
Well,
always make sure to tell everybody good night, but that you're sitting
Hello.
there around whatever, or make sure if you walk, anytime you've ever walked me anywhere or any of the other girls or whatever, just like Kevin Ashby or any of the other guys that won't let us go by
Kevin's
ourselves.
not going to like that.
You walk us back.
You just called Kevin. Kevin's not going to like that. You said like any of the other girls, you know, like Kevin Ashby, and I'm thinking
Kevin walks us back.
Kevin's not going to like
let
that.
us go by ourselves either.
Donna did.
No.
Donna, the first thing.
First thing I remember was I asked Sherry, I said, where'd Billy go? And he said he was tired. He was going to go to sleep.
I was the only level-headed one during that time, you know.
That is not. Oh, that's bad.
No. Because I didn't get no hug.
I didn't realize how much trouble I was in. but I asked Doc, I said, I didn't say good night. I didn't say see y'all in the morning. Didn't say love y'all. Didn't say come here, let me get a hug before I go. She said, nope, you just walked on off into the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Stacy, anything like that's possible, girl. My mind liable to shut down any minute. But
it happened a couple of times. You walked off. I guess you was tired too. The night that we had all went. It was maybe the night before. Was it the last night before everybody packed up?
I think that was Saturday night. I was a little bit disturbed that night. I wasn't so much tired. I was just a little upset.
Whenever Billy and Kevin Ashby disappeared down the trail on Saturday night, and we started going, hey, Billy, and we went back and found him at camp. That's why I thought he was talking about Saturday night, but it was a whole different night. It was before I was there. This is a complicated thing. And also, y'all, if you know Bill, put him on the spot here for 1 second, but he feels bad about this because like it's uncharacteristic of him to zone out. He is He's a protector, like he was talking about with the Rebecca thing. He didn't remember getting back to camp, and he would normally just walk off and leave everybody and be like, "Hey, I'm tired. I'm going to bed."
Mm-hmm.
This is that mentally, this leads you down a rabbit hole, is all I'm saying. So, Sherry and Donna,
Yes.
whenever you were standing there with Bill, shining the lights on it, go from there. What did you see? Sherry, what was making you go, "Oh my God, oh my God"? Do you remember getting back? What did you see? Donna quit slapping people. Sherry, what did you see?
I saw the same thing. I was just excited. I wasn't scared. I was just excited because I thought we're getting to see something, you know. And I honestly, truly, I think they do, which I thought that before this. I think they cloak, and I think they pick. I do think their hair's clear, like other animals that can kind of disappear. You know, when you're looking, and I think they pick up the other colors. I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
I think when that light was hitting it, it was picking up different colors.
My blue light was hitting it. Yeah. That's basically the same thing I was seeing, was the shimmering and stuff. And I was trying to, Sherry was saying, oh my God. And I was like, what? You know, and I was trying to shine my light over there because I had a blue light. And Billy had his straight in, and we did get one good picture that there's a possible something there, is all I can say.
I seen eye shine in those photos.
Yes.
When I see them, I'm like Billy. I try to be honest with everybody. If I see something, fine. If I don't, but I'm the same way. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But if I question it, to me, I just go with paranoia. But I did see eye shine, and I seen something else that I wasn't gonna say, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. One set of the eye shine, when I worked with the photos and was moving, it looked more like a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Not a little dog,
yes.
but it looked like
that's
a
exactly.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, see, now y'all see that. I see something on the other tree. You know, I got confused when
two different sets of eye shine.
This is separate from that, Billy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is separate from that. They're in the same area down through there because I was taking pictures all the way up.
Yeah.
And the picture that we didn't get to get on tonight, it's dog looking. I mean, you can see the pointed ears and stuff.
Just so everybody knows, we will post the pictures on the Facebook page here in a day or two. We had a problem with them getting sent and being edited, and it was hard to do it to make a video or to show y'all on StreamYard, but we'll get the pictures. We'll post them on the Facebook page. I know that the whole subject is complicated. Well, the whole telling of the story is complicated, but it was a complicated thing being there. It took time to put all this together. There was a lot of people talking about stuff that happened over different days. Billy didn't remember a lot of it, and Donna and Sherry weren't showing everybody because they weren't sure exactly what they saw. So they were being cautious, but
I got something else to tell you.
Happened the entire week. I was there a week, and it was stuff happened the entire week.
Well, let me bring up something right quick, that since Misty's here and she's, thank God, talkative today, I want her and Billy to talk about when Misty was accusing Billy of messing with the Porta-john while she went.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all tell everybody about your trip to the Porta-john when Billy escorted you down there, and then Billy walked back up where we were. I looked at Billy. I could look over at Billy at 25 feet, and then next thing I know, Misty's up like, "Was y'all messing with me when you went to the Porta-john?"
Well, what day did they bring those? Do you remember what morning we got there? What, Thursday?
They bought them Thursday about 11 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah, they were there when we got there.
That's what I was going to say.
They were there when y'all got
there.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I don't know, because when we actually wound up making it there, we set up in the dark. I mean, I've
Right.
never been to this area. I hadn't seen anything. All I seen was just headlights and campers and tents as I was trying to come in, and I did not know the area. I didn't know where all you could set up. Billy and them was saving us a spot already. But that night after we got set up, before that happened, had I went to, now I'm trying to remember because I can't remember if I went to the Porta-john and that happened first, or if when we walked.
You had just got finished setting up. You come by me and said, "Where's them Porta-johns at?"
Okay,
said,
then we went
on the way in.
that, right? So
You
okay,
passed
that's what I was trying to
on the
remember
way in.
because it was real close together. And like I said, it was probably up in the morning then, 12, 1 o'clock or whatever going on it whenever we finally got set up to where I could get out and go walk around. But I went to the bathroom and Billy walked me down there, and everybody was it was already dark. So everybody was kind of at their own areas. A few was sitting around the camp, but where the toilets was set up, there wasn't anybody close to where anybody could have just snuck up without somebody seeing it. And we were literally camped right across from it. So Billy and Greg, JR, all of them was kind of standing around right there. Billy walked me to the restroom, and I thought he was messing with me. And I'm sitting in this daggone Porta-john, and I'm laughing, and I'm going, daggone it, Billy. I'm like, you turn this daggone thing over, and I get shit water on me. We're going to have a problem.
I don't know if that's what you said or not, but you was fussing about me pushing the toilet over. And I'm up on the bank talking to JR and Greg. I'm not moved. All I was doing was waiting on you to come back out. I wanted to shine the flashlight so you wouldn't get on the snake. That's all I was doing.
I was complaining about, I said, if I walk over here and there's a daggone snake or a scorpion or something in this toilet, I said, so he walked me down there, shining the flashlight. We kind of looked around. He walked off. I didn't know it. I thought he was still there, and I thought he was messing with me because it was the first time I'd went to the bathroom and nobody else was around. And I'm sitting there and I can feel the commode shaking. Like literally, I thought he was just standing there shaking it, just picking at me. And I came out laughing. And I'm like, what? You think that's funny? And I'm looking around. I'm talking to myself. There is nobody there. And I look up, and he's standing up the hill talking to JR and Greg. And I come out, I'm like, was you shaking the toilet? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I know you was doing that. And he said, I wasn't doing anything. I said, well, somebody did. He said, there wasn't nobody around. And I said, well, somebody was shaking the commode while I was sitting in there. I said, because I was sitting there telling them that I better not get turned over and get down shit water on me. And he's like, no, I wasn't there. He said, I've been up here. As soon as I walked you down, I walked back up.
I didn't want to stand around there while you taking care of your business. I got
and that's the only time the commode never moved again after that.
Yeah, Greg, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, I know it's not that it wasn't stable. So it wasn't just moving on its own. And it felt like somebody was pushing it. And we walked after that. Do what?
Donna kept feeling something stepping on the gate, the drop down gate behind our camper.
I'd be laying there almost asleep, and just by the time I'd be about ready to doze off, I would go like this. And I was like, what? And it's like something was stepping on the gate and stepping back off just like 1 foot. Just back and forth.
And its weight was lifting in front of the trailer.
And then Sherry had an experience. She woke up during the middle of the night.
Well, there was a whole lot more to that story too.
Yeah. The last night, we were tired and we went to bed about 12, 1 o'clock. Like that, 12 o'clock. Anyway, and it was that's why I said that other was the first time I'd ever experienced this, and this time it was even worse. We got 3 like places to sleep in that little camper, and Jim's on this side right here looking up toward like we're missing him, we're camped. Okay, and Donna's on the top bunk on this side, and I'm down. I sleep under her bunk, and I started trying to wake up like you cannot look at me. You can ask Misty's girls. If I'm asleep and you get over there and you look straight at me, I wake up just like that. Because it used to freak them out. I just do. I know I'm being looked at. But anyway, something was wrong, and I was trying my best to get woke up, and I finally got awake, but I was still, my muscles and stuff wouldn't move. And okay, and I'm laying like this, and I look over here toward Jim's bed, and in the window, there's the shape of a Bigfoot head. Look, this looks like this, like that right there, looking in the window. And that was freaky. I'm telling you, it freaked me out. And I'm laying there, and I thought, and I just kept looking, you know, watching it. And then I thought, well, there's a window above me of where Donna's at, you know, and the curtains weren't out on the windows, and they had their windows cracked a little bit too. And I said, I got to get out here. I got to see if there's one up there too. So that's when I couldn't move again. So I started trying to get my muscles to work, and I finally inched and wiggled that onto the floor in the camper where I could see hers. So and there was one in that window too. You could see the pointed, you know, not pointed, but you know, one of the dome head, and that's all I could see. But they couldn't have been full grown because they wouldn't have fit in the windows. Those windows are small, but there was one in each window. And I got back over in the bed, and I didn't say nothing because I just kept laying there looking, and I reckon I finally fell asleep. And about 3:30, Jim gets up, and he's and the camper was moving up, woke me up, and he's gonna go out on the deck, the
ramp.
Yeah, the ramp. Yeah.
To pee. And I started yelling.
She's like, no,
Donna. I said, no, don't you go out there. Don't go out there. And they thought I was crazy, I know. But I figured it was still around at 3:30, you know, wandering around through the camps and stuff. And
when we felt the camper being shoved a couple of times too, just to
when that happened to you is when I didn't know what was going on with you guys, but we would go from hearing them back behind us to where they would move, and I would hear them straight across from you guys where you had hung down the shower. Over in that area. I would hear them something, I don't know what, but I would literally hear calls and walking over in that spot. And when me and Billy was talking about it, the same nights and times that I was telling him that there wasn't anything behind us anymore, that it's moved and it's over in front of us, is when you guys was experiencing that stuff going on, because y'all were backed in right in that spot.
Yeah.
Let me give you some timeline. The next morning I woke up, and Terry Allen, he was camping right beside of me. And there goes my phone. Sorry about that.
You good?
Allen was camped right beside of me. Well, the next morning after y'all got there, not the morning that Sherry and Donna and Jim had the camper rocking, Terry's standing outside drinking coffee. And I told her, man, why didn't you come over in and sit down? He said, I didn't want to mess with your stuff, man. I just stand right here drinking coffee. Was them two nuts laughing out? Y'all throwing me off the game here.
I'm sorry.
He said, I'm just standing around drinking coffee. He said, man, did anything happen to you last night? I said, like what? He said, anything push on your truck? I said, no, I don't guess. I said, if it did, I said, I was so tired, I probably didn't even feel it, you know. I said, why you ask that? He said, last night about 3:17, something shoved my truck so hard it woke me up from my sleep. Now, Terry has to sleep in a chair. He don't sleep on the bed. So he's up in the front of the cab, which I think he just sleeps in the front of the cab because he can lock the door. Just be honest. No, I'm playing with you, Terry. That's just a joke. I said, no, I don't guess it did. And I don't know really what to think about that. You know, did he really feel anything? Did he just kind of jump in his sleep? I don't know. Well, next person I run into is Robin. And Robin said something was in my camp last night. Somebody, I thought they were walking to the bathroom because she was actually probably about as close as anybody to the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what happened? She said, about 3:15. Well, we got to remember what time Terry said.
That's about the same time.
Right about the same time. It had probably enough time to walk across the street, the dirt road. Right about 3:15, somebody came through my camp. I thought it was somebody just passing through. And then all of a sudden, she was in her camper and had the air conditioning off, so she had her windows rolled out. And she said that she heard something smelling her, sniffing her.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, then it done it again.
And she had her window open too in her camper.
She had her windows open so that she could get air through the camper.
Yeah.
She didn't want to run the motor all night to run the generator.
Yes.
I said, well, what did it look like? She said, are you crazy? I didn't look out that window. That thing's out there sniffing me. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I don't know about all this, you know. And she said, come look at my table. Now, she had a white table sitting up right outside of her camper.
Yep.
Facing back toward Mark and Rebecca's. And I said, what is it? Rusty said, sniffing her was it Joe Biden?
She was just right across from us.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there wasn't what, 30 feet.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
she showed me her table. This is no job neither, you know, it's a real deal. There's a handprint, a palm print, and fingers like you would walk. You know, picture yourself walking past a countertop and your left hand's close to the countertop and you just reach and hold on to the countertop as you walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is a print, a clear print, right there on the table.
Really, I saw it too. She showed me.
Well, the next thing that happens, Donna and Sherry and Mr. Jim, something steps on their ramp. Sherry and Donna and Jim go through their little ordeal. So there's Robin right there, says it was a handprint, and it was a handprint.
Mm-hmm.
And Donna and Sherry and Jim go through their ordeal. Now, this is all around 3:15 to 3:17, according to everybody telling their stories. Now, I'm hearing all this. And, well, guess what? Now, whatever it was, apparently walked past Wendell's camp, walked past Crystal's camp, and walked up to Patrick. When it got to Patrick's, it was about 20 after 3. Best I can remember Patrick talking, he said 20 after 3. Well, it unzipped his tent door. Patrick said he didn't realize he could get so little. He crawled in the very corner of that tent, was trying to dig out the backside. Something unzipped Patrick's tent.
Mm.
And all this happened within about 5 or 6 minute period.
And
that's weird.
And the zipper fob, the thing that you pull to raise up and down the tent, he told me that whatever the day that I got there, so it was the day after that, there was still a film like on that zipper fob. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's too small to see if there was, you know, ridges or anything like that, but it had a coating on it.
You know, getting your the fly on your getting your zipper unzipped, buddy. That's kind of a wild situation to be in right there. Automatic.
So
I can just imagine.
Daniel Boone, I think that's what it was trying to do. The zipper fob was up under, you know, like it had a good flap on it where the zipper thing was, and I don't think you could find it, and it was doing this to try to find it. On our
We're back.
Boone.
It's still relevant, Spencer.
Daniel Boone was
We're going back to Daniel Boone.
I would say for everybody watching, out of 100, and what did we count? What was it? 127. That was
that,
But probably everybody didn't sign it.
I think so. But out of 127 people that were there, I don't think it's any exaggeration to say that 60 or 70 people heard stuff, saw stuff, had something come up, hit a tent, hit a camper, heard branches breaking, saw stuff being thrown. I'm not trying to make it more than what it was, y'all, but there was a lot of people there. And please, I know if you're just watching this on YouTube, you might not have met us. You don't know us personally. I tell you right now, wasn't many people there that I didn't know personally.
Mhm.
And every single people or person that describes this kind of stuff, they're honest people. They're not doing this, and we're not doing this to promote. We started out the show trying to talk about like what Billy experienced, so that there would be like some detail of this that we could go into. But I do want everybody to know, I saw some comments where people were saying like, of course everybody experienced Bigfoot activity when it's a Bigfoot meet and greet.
Mm-mm.
Well, people that are in this field, they're paying attention. I would argue that there's a lot of people that have experienced stuff and they just never pay attention, don't dot the I's, cross the T's, and make the connections and understand that it might be boogers.
Just more
But
like
I'm telling you right now, though, there was booger activity at that damn meet and greet.
yes.
You can think what you want, but I can march on 70 people or so that will tell you what all happened right then. And there ain't no way 70 people are all on the same storyline and misunderstanding what all happened. There was so much stuff that happened at that meet and greet, from people getting sick mysteriously and
Mhm.
having to leave, to people hearing stuff, the branches breaking, the tents getting hit and campers getting rocked, all that kind of stuff.
I didn't want to go for weeks. I kept having just a horrible feeling about going. And like you said, people were getting sick. JR and Greg almost wrecked. It took us hours to get there when we should have been there in what, Greg?
4 hours to get there, and we should have been there in 2. Took 4 hours.
Well, and so that back to what I was saying about not seeing the area because it was dark when I got there. I didn't know because everybody was so spread out. I wasn't sure how we could all camp, like what areas we could, park in and set up or whatever. So after that happened, when I went to the bathroom, I didn't know Billy had been the go-to for, everybody getting them to go walking. And I'm like, hey, Billy, I'm about to go walking. You want to go? And he was like, you and your aunts, I swear.
Hey, y'all, look, let me post it back up. Something that Jeremiah just brought up, which, by the way, guys, if you do not watch Bigfoot Society on YouTube, please go check out his channel and subscribe to it. He has amazing guests. But this is a really good point. Is it about the people? Is it about the people? Are some people more sensitive? Is it about intention? Can boogers read intention? I mean, if you got 127 people there, there's bound to be some people that feel a little bit different than other people.
Mhm.
Do they?
You got to look at too, just like what he said, same thing we talk about. When you go in and your energy is high and you're a happy, outgoing person, I guess, and you're around that person, you can feel that coming from somebody just the same as you can somebody that's always negative. You get that, you can feel their bad energy. When we go to these meet and greets, how happy is everybody that's there? I mean, we have a really good group of people that come together, cutting up, laughing, joking.
I would agree and think about the amount of sightings around like children, women, autistic people. But also at the same time, if you're being honest, you have to throw in there, you have encounters from people that were just driving down the road. You have encounters from people that were out there hunting and were prolific hunters and shot everything that they saw. And they're there with a loaded weapon and their intent is to kill an animal and they still see a booger.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you... There is probably more to this, and there's probably more that they can do than we can understand or the way that we understand it. You know what I mean? it's probably not just your intention, but I do think all of the stuff is relevant, and I don't think anybody in the field should be offhandedly ruling out this or that what everybody says.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
From my point of
I think
view,
they come in
I
for
don't care
different
what they
reasons.
think.
I don't
My
need
point of
to-
view is I just don't care what they think. You know,
No.
I
Well,
saw
if
what
they're
I saw.
curious.
I didn't ask for that. I didn't
Yeah.
actually want to see that. I'm not been real happy about seeing that.
He'll never
Changed
walk
my
with
perspective on being in the woods. I've been in the woods 65 years. They don't like what I got to say. Well, go play in another sandbox. I don't care.
So let
I
me
just don't care. I ain't
Let me-
known to be a liar. I ain't a liar. I'm telling you what I saw. If that ain't good, hey, see
Well-
you kick rock, baby.
let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and give. Let me add a little Paul Harvey to the rest of the story. Something I didn't tell. I told Spencer and Misty about what happened. You know, about the door before we came on the show, and then I told y'all the first part of the show. The part that I didn't say, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it. And I know people's gonna think this is weird. It's crazy. It don't make no sense. And I didn't even tell them, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. Last night when I was in this chair, and I did honestly, 3 o'clock in the morning is pretty early for me to go to sleep. And I always keep. I've got a 4-inch 357 Magnum Smith & Wesson combat revolver, holds 7 rounds, and it stays on the table beside the chair that I sleep in, because that's the only place I can sleep, keep my foot from hurting, is in this recliner. Y'all, last night, right as I thought, man, I'm tired, I'm give out, and I started getting drowsy. I laid back, pulled the blanket up on me, and I've got a towel there that I'll pull over my eyes so it's really dark. Because I always keep the TV on, turned down low. I pull up on my eyes, and I got my arms folded under me under the blanket, and I was just about to go to sleep. And y'all, I had the worst case of creepy feels ever. And I had it to the point that I done got good and warm. I was under the blanket, and I'm about to go to sleep. I had to set the recliner up, just set up in it. I reached over and caught that pistol in the holster, and I pulled it over, and I laid the thing on my lap and covered back up. When I went to sleep, that pistol was laying on my lap. Just something told me something ain't right. I don't want to have to be reaching over for it in the dark. But when I went to sleep last night, that pistol was laying in my lap, covered up under the blanket on me. And then I get up this morning, and the door's been open. So tell me why. I mean, every night that pistol's laying beside me, but for some reason last night, I couldn't go on off to sleep until I reached and caught that and put it in my lap. Now that's the Paul Harvey of that story.
Wait, but you got to admit, just like Billy walking back to camp and not remembering it and going to bed and not doing his normal thing of telling everybody good night, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Did you wake up? You heard something, you grabbed the pistol, and then something did something to you, and you don't remember doing that?
No, I mean, I can remember perfectly fine everything that happened up till I went to sleep, and I slept sound. But y'all, sound for me is like high alert for everybody else. I mean, usually anything happens. I'm a very light sleeper, and it very little wakes me up. I mean, very, very little noise will wake me wide awake. But I had such a creepy feel when I finally, before I could relax enough to finally go to sleep, I had took that pistol and laid it in my lap.
Yeah.
And I went to sleep. And after I laid it in my lap, it probably went 30 seconds. I was asleep. And then that's what just kind of, it freaked me out, because I'd woke up and I'd been setting up. I'd done turned the volume up on the TV. And then I heard that door bump. I heard it bump the cooler outside. It wasn't very loud, but I heard it bump. And what it is, it's not a Yeti. I call it a Yeti, but it's like an Arctic brand. It's like a Yeti. And I heard that it's a metal door, and it's solid pane of glass from top to bottom with a metal frame. It's real heavy, but I heard it bump. And when I heard it, I thought, I knew exactly what it was. I knew it was the door hit that cooler. And I thought, something's messed with the door. And when I looked out the peephole, I unbolted the deadbolt and unlocked the knob. And when I opened it, the door was just, the wind was blowing it back and forth real slow. But y'all, look, 100%. When I came in last night, I shut that door. I do it every night, double check it, because, you know, I don't want the door open at all. And I know it was latched. And y'all, I'm telling you, that latch,
I do.
no way it accidentally, no way.
I remember it's the camp.
Y'all remember the walk back?
Yeah. Not. I remember being at the top, and I remember when we got close to camp.
Yeah.
Don't remember in between. And Donna.
The thing I remember is asking Sherry, where's Billy?
Yeah. So
Well, the other thing about that, how odd is it? Look, think about this. This is me on the outside looking in. Y'all three have just witnessed this. All three have seen the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all weren't like let's just say overwhelmed, we'll just throw it out there and say whether it was anxiety, whether it was adrenaline, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You take three people just saw something that's unbelievable. If something was totally normal, y'all should have been just blah 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 walking. It should have been a massive nonstop three people conversation all the way back.
Yeah, but I don't even remember that. I remember us looking at that, and then the next thing I remember is, like I said, being at camp and asking Sherry, where's Billy?
Well, you'd have just left him laying there, wouldn't you?
No,
let's just-
She done punched him in the back. She didn't
And I
even
didn't take off
bring
running
his
this.
kneecaps.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right. Hey, now this is a boring part of the show, but we all know about the subject. I got to do it because it's a damn YouTube show. So, if you all laid eyes on something, as best you can, describe what you saw as best you can, one at a time, just so we can go over. And then we got questions like, did you smell anything? Did you get the creepy feels? Have you ever been struck by lightning? Did you nearly die? Did you get mind speak? All that kind of stuff. But start with describe exactly in detail at the end of the show, what did you see as best you can?
Billy was shining a light, and Sherry was hollering, look, 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 oh my God. And I remember seeing, like Billy said, an outline of something. I didn't see any eyes or anything.
How big,
And-
Donna?
It was huge. It was bigger than you.
Well, first of all, that ain't saying
That ain't
much.
saying much, Donna.
I just said that squirrel. I beat you to it.
Misty,
bigger
he's a professional chicken fighter.
It looked massive, like the outline of it looked massive to me.
It was about as wide as I am, half again.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
all I can tell you is what I saw is back.
Like a linebacker.
It looked like it might have had,
like a linebacker.
that's true. It looked like it might have had pads on, like a football player.
But I didn't see any
It was about my width and a half.
Wow.
And I mean,
It was about my width and a half. That's what I saw.
Yeah, you're right, Billy. That's about what I'd say, a linebacker.
Did you
And,
did you see
what?
Did you see hair?
I saw something shimmer for just a split second.
Yeah, Billy saw it longer than we did.
Yeah, Billy saw it longer than we did.
Is Billy
By the time my light hit it?
Billy, are you the only one that saw it move whenever you whistled?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if girls.
I didn't. I was too busy.
All I saw was
whistling.
it was sitting, kind of had its head down in its shoulders, kind of like that.
Mhm.
And then I whistled. It done that and went right back in. About the same time it was going in, Donna smacked me. So I doubt Donna saw any of it. She's too busy beating on me. But
that was a love pat, Billy.
So
yeah,
I knocked him down.
yeah. Not my glasses clean down the hill. Now, but you know, that's all I saw. I mean, that is to the second. I don't remember nothing else.
did you well, first of all, if y'all saw it hunker down,
Mm-hmm.
did you see like head, shoulders? Could you make out arms, legs? Could you make out?
No.
You
No.
just saw a large form.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I think it's interesting that all three of y'all said yes at the same time. Did you any smells at all?
Not
Right
me.
before I come up to Billy and Sherry, whenever they were looking at it, I smelled cow poo.
And that's
after I heard the guttural growl, I smelled like cow poop.
Donna,
Yeah,
I smelled it
Cow
there
poop.
too.
Okay,
and
I thought you said cow food. I thought you said cow
smelled
food.
it. I asked Mark if there was
cow
cows
poop.
around.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Whenever Mark first got there and Billy was helping him set up the camper,
Yep.
they also smelled it. And also, I think there were two other people. Kumbo might have been one.
We smelled it walking the trail.
Yeah. Well, Kumbo didn't walk the trail, I don't think, but there was at least a couple other people that said about smelling the cows. The cows were about 7.5, 8 miles away. So they were right at 10 miles. They were far.
But this wasn't a weak smell. It was like bam.
Yeah.
Like you're
Like
in the
smack you in
pasture.
the face, bam.
You're in the pasture with them.
Yeah,
I smelled
exactly.
it too.
Yeah.
Did
You know, everybody's always dismissing that I feel thing, you know.
yes.
You better pay attention to that.
Yeah.
That's your inner instincts, and you better pay attention to it.
Well, I don't know if Sherry remembers it or not, but I told her, I said, I'm starting to get that buzzing in my ears again.
Yeah.
Right before Billy saw that. We were walking. I do remember that. And I said, Sherry, I said, I'm starting to get a headache and I'm starting to get that buzz in my ears. To me, it's almost like a mosquito in my ear. I get that every time. I did it at Greg's.
For me, it's I know if somebody's looking at me. If you're over yonder and look, 99% of the time, I'm going to just turn and look right at you. It's just an instinct I have. Yeah. And like I said, Missy's girls used to stay up here all the time. And they'd sneak into, I'm being on the couch or something, and they'd sneak in there and get right in my face, and my eyes would pop right open, and it would freak them out. They would scream.
I can't believe Misty would do anything like that, Sherry.
It wasn't Misty, it was girls.
Kids.
She lived with us too, basically, but her kids stayed up here, especially on the weekend. We took them to church, and they all the time trying to trick me, and they'd sneak in there if I was on the couch, and just and all of a sudden and I remember Morgan said, "Oh gosh." It scared them when I opened my eyes like that.
Well, the night that we went walking, that I had Billy go walk with me, and he was kind of telling me the story of the place or whatever, what Mark and everybody had told him about it. And he was telling me that you guys went walking, and he was explaining to me what y'all had experienced and seen, like his part of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that we couldn't have people back in there. I thought we were walking down just one of the camp area roads. I had no idea that it was actually like in the access like you couldn't drive back in there. You know what I mean? It was like an access road or something like that. And I'm like,
it was forestry division and horses.
Yes, remember, we were walking and I said, "Gosh, there's people back in here camping." Billy said, "Hey, ain't nobody back here camping." I said, "Well, right there." I said, "Right there's a reflector." And as soon as I turned my light around and looked, it was gone. Now I'm talking this thing, if anybody that's got a Jeep, the round reflectors, that looked identical. I thought somebody in a Jeep or something with round reflectors was parked up there. It was so big and so bright. And I mean, it's like when my light hit it, I barely had my headlight on. I had it turned on low, just enough to walk, but still kind of be dark. And when it caught it, it lit up just like I had shined it on a road reflector or a vehicle reflector, bright red. And he said, "There ain't nobody parked back here." He said, "You can't drive back here." And so then we both got to looking. There was nothing. There was nothing nowhere. We walked up there, looked around the whole area and he said it was fairly close to where you guys had experienced something too. So I don't know what it was, but it wasn't a vehicle. And that's exactly what I thought it was. That was I mean, it was every bit of the size of a big reflector, just one. And then it was gone. And then there was nothing else there.
Yeah.
Well, see, Misty, that thing that I saw over JR's shoulder when he and I were talking, that's the craziest something I've ever seen. It was that way. I mean, it looked like it was big around as a skull can or bigger.
And
And
you
it
all
was
didn't know about that. I hadn't told you about that.
no. See, I didn't until right now. I didn't know you'd saw anything like that. But the weird thing for me was when I first saw it. I mean, me and JR were. He could have reached out and touched me in the nose. We were face to face, and it would have been on. You know, it would have been over his right shoulder on like me looking at him, my left. But it was like I'm looking at his face, and just like right here beside him, behind him, it looked like that's what's so wild. It looked like a red Christmas light just like came on, just be totally dark. And you just see this small, it looked like the size of a dime, but it was just super bright red, like somebody flipped a little light on, like a Christmas light. And I watched this thing go whoop, and it got about that big, and it stayed there for just a few seconds. And it didn't just go out. It was like it really quick. It went whoop, back down to the little dime size, and then like you turned it off. I can't explain that in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But it was
There was things in them bushes the whole week, man.
Yeah.
Right there where y'all were at, it was stuff in them bushes the whole week. Ask Dale Boswell.
That's what I was gonna say. You know, Dale, his wife, and I think Terry Allen, that's what they were talking about. They were seeing it right where I'd seen it. I didn't even know till later on that they had saw it. But that I can't explain why. And I've even thought, well, if it was an eye, did its eye just barely it's like just really crack open and then it got big and then it went back down? I don't know. But it was perfectly round, and it was about the size, I would say the size of a dime. And it was just like it just went totally black, just whipped like it came on. And then when it increased in size, it was like whoop, about that quick. And when it went out, it went whoop, back down, and flip, was gone. And I looked at it you could have probably counted 3 to 4 Mississippi, because we had enough time. I'm talking to JR, and he's actually saying something to me. And when I see it, I said, whoa, just don't. I said, just don't turn around. Just be still and just play normal. Well, you know, I'm trying to focus on it, and I'm looking right past his head, and the thing was gone. And I can't explain it. We took a light. Look, we weren't shining any lights. I wasn't shining lights. Now there were some lights like under my canopy and all that, so there was very minimal light going back behind there. And I can't make sense of it. And like you said, it was as bright as it was nearly as bright as a tail light on a vehicle lit up. I mean, bright. And I've never seen anything like that ever. No.
This was bright. It was like I had shined a light straight on a bicycle reflector or something. Mm-hmm. And it just glistened the exact same way and showed up just bright as could be. And then was just gone. And then there was nothing there, but we didn't hear anything move either to leave. So if it was a reflector or anything hanging there, where did it go? Why did we see it? But when we walked up to where it was at or hanging or whatever, we couldn't even find anything.
Mm-hmm.
Misty, my phone's gonna die. I'm gonna have to jump. If I hit this leave, can I come back?
You can. Yeah, I'll let you back in.
Okay, because my phone's gonna die. I'm gonna do something to try to get some power over here.
That's fine. Okay. You do whatever you need to do.
But y'all, I mean, there was so much, and so many different people had experiences at Hollins. It was wild. I mean, absolutely. And I know people that weren't there are probably going to say, "Oh, it was just, people wanting to have experience." No, you'd had to have been there to have really experienced how many days and how much stuff. And like William said, he really didn't have anything I don't reckon happen, but there were so many people that did.
What happened to me? I'm telling you, it wasn't enjoyable. I was scared. I mean, when I just woke up and I see that head there, and it took me forever till I could get out of the bed to look and see if something was in the other. And I'm like, it's going to see me when I move, but I wasn't really afraid of it doing nothing. It was just, it's like when you have the really, really bad monster. And well, I've had a lot of crap happen, but anyway, I wasn't really worried what it was going to do, but I didn't want it to see me move that I was awake, and I couldn't get my muscles to move so that I could I'm talking about moving that far off my bed where I could see Donna's window. And then there's a head there too, just like it, the whole outline. But you've seen those windows. They're not big. I don't think it could have been, but there was enough light behind it. I could see the whole outline of the heads.
Wow. See, I didn't know any of that till you told it a while ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell. I told them. Well, y'all knew about it.
Yeah.
When I started yelling for Jim not to go out off the back side to pee, they knew something was wrong because I was asleep when he got up to go out.
Yeah.
I think he thought I was crazy.
I would say, like what Sherry is talking about right there. Again, cannot stress this enough. Greg, weigh in here on this. For people that go out looking for these things, you're talking about people that have been around these before. In some way, shape, or form, we've experienced them. We keep dealing with them. I'm telling y'all, there is a overwhelming emotion, sensation, fight or flight. You can call it whatever you want. There's something that happens to you, and these things, they emit something that puts you in your place. Mm-hmm. No matter how big and bad you think you are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're around them, this is a hell no, I gotta go kind of thing. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, well, when we all walked up that night, we went in two separate groups the night that me and you went together. Yeah. We had, a fairly large group. So there was kind of a little bit of us walking up ahead, but we still kind of stayed where we could see each other. Well, there was a couple of people going to camp, a couple of them that, hold on just a second. Let me let Billy back in.
Yep. Boys.
There was a couple of the boys that was going to camp up on the hill. So they hiked up with us. And so Robin, while she's in here, I'm trying to figure out how to, without having to tell the whole thing over again. They obviously, a couple of them that was going up and sleeping, one of them that was going to go up with them. I think he took a shofar, and Spencer was like, do not blow that. Do not. And Billy, that's when he walked out that at the end, whenever I was like, where's Billy? He was like, I'm out of here. I'm that. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Well, as we're coming back out, Robin Griffith, she's in here. So she knows what I'm talking about. We were talking and we were like, let's try something. Let's just see what happens. And I told Spencer, I said, hang on. I said, me and Robin's just going to just mess around and see what happens. In our minds, like literally just trying to think and see if we could get a response. No saying anything. And we get this owl call, and Spencer thinks it is one of the guys messing with us. And I'm like, no way, Spencer. You cannot actually think that's one of the guys come off that hill, walk down through the woods where we are just to make an owl call at us. Mm-hmm. How big did that owl sound?
It sounded big, and that part right there is why whenever Billy first told me about like what they experienced, I was putting two and two together, and I thought it was the same night that whenever me, you, and those kids walked up there, I thought it was like, hey, we had a booger here. Because that owl, there was no way that was a real owl. I mean, that was the atypical hoo hoo hoo. It had no trill. It was the 300, 500 pound owl. So
yards away.
Yeah, it was close. In fact, did we find? I remember walking in the woods about 10, 15 yards, and we started finding the trees that were broke over, and wasn't there like a possible track in the ground right there?
I don't know about that. You all walked in. but there's no way. As close as that was, we couldn't find anything. We all had lights shining over there after that. But me and Robin literally just sat kind of like I had my hand on her back and she had her hand on my back, and we were just standing together, and we were just telling each other, let's just focus and see if we can get it to give us some kind of response if there's something here.
Yeah.
And sure enough, well, that's when that happened. And Spencer's like, oh, that's somebody. But it wasn't. I mean, if it was, I don't know where they could have went that quick. I mean, that when we all shined our light, they were gone. So that again kind of ties back into Billy and them seeing it and then not seeing anything but just shimmering. Where did that go?
I will admit that your mental witchcraft, whatever the hell you do, you did your thing, and then there was really weird, the loud owl thing. Scientifically, there's no way to prove that either of that connects. I will admit you did whatever you do, and something happened, and that probably was not an owl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was on the same spot, whatever 2 days afterwards, that Billy, Sherry, and Donna had all that shit happen. And we all know that there was stuff there. There was literally more than half of the people experienced stuff there.
Something picking out right there.
Oh, you just now learned to mute them whenever they're communicating amongst themselves?
I've been muting them, but I can't catch them right off.
Sorry. No, Greg actually was nice enough to let Abby go walking with Sherry and I
the next morning.
The
last morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. And anyways, which thank you, Greg. Abby found a footprint.
Yeah,
and we did take a picture of it. And that's what we were doing. We were trying to find it, and it was
good. It was a good size. We laid something down with it, but that's what we were trying to do is find the picture. But those boys scared the crap out of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I didn't know that we were up there. We were just going up through there, and I look up. We get almost right there at the top of the fields, and I see camping stuff. Nobody moving. I said, "Oh my God, somebody's dead." Except I didn't say it because Abby was with us, and I just looked at Donna and I said, "Stay with Abby." And I went up through there, and I get up, and I finally said, "Are y'all all right?" And that boy raised up, and I just knew I was going to find somebody dead up there.
I didn't know that anybody was going camping the night that we walked up there. Mm-hmm. I didn't know anybody was going camping up there, or I would have been like, hell no, you're not. And I definitely didn't know that the one guy who I do know, I didn't know that he had a shofar and was going up there with them and was planning on. And that's whenever we stopped and I started yelling through the woods, do not do that.
Yeah.
They were really nice, polite boys, though. Yeah. I just meant they just scared the crap out of them.
They weren't the one that had it. They didn't bring it.
I know. Yeah. I know who it was.
It wasn't the kids.
Yeah, I just knew that I was going to walk up and find somebody dead.
Some dead bodies.
And so Donna stayed back with Abby, and I went up there to check on them. But they were glad we came because they just should have been gone by then, and they jumped up and probably stayed up all night and just slept too late.
Yeah. Well, Joe and Pat and Bud and Angie, man, there were a couple other people down there with them, but they had a whole different level of stuff that happened with them because they were camping down in that one section way down there, away from everybody else. Jody Joe Buck, down there. I don't know. Randomly had a shofar. Yeah. Jeremiah. No, he didn't randomly have it. He brought it on purpose, and we have a big thing where it's like you don't do calls from camp unless somebody is in agreement and you're ready. I mean, that's a whole different thing. The way that we do it, just so everybody knows, if you go out 7 or 8 people and you go to a certain spot where you're gonna do calls or something like that, everybody is ready. Everybody is aware of the game plan. You got vehicles nearby. They're turned around. They're pointed on the way out and everything. The calls, I don't know what to say to everybody on YouTube. I'm sorry. The calls are secret. If you do the call and you do it the right way at the right time of year in the right place and everything, you're going to get a response. And whenever these things come in, you got to have people around you that know what the deal is. Greg, help me out here. What am I trying to say? You don't just go out in the middle of the woods and blow a shofar in camp.
No.
Look, as much as I've had experience with these things, and Troy Allen and Coonbow, I mean, look, here's the deal. Me and Coonbow talk about this a lot. Me and Troy talk about it a lot. This comes up very frequent. We get talking about people that go out and hike and walk in 2 or 3 miles or even a half a mile. And, you know, there's a couple of 3 or 4 people, and let's say they go camping, or let's just say that they go boogering and not camping, but they'll leave their vehicle and they'll walk for forever into the woods, and they don't have an easy way or an easier way to flee. They don't have a way to get out of there. And, you know, they've got no vehicle, or it's just a couple of people, and they go in there and they're calling these things. Well, what you don't know is you don't know what result or reaction you're going to provoke, because first off, you don't know what the hell you're telling them. You don't know if you're telling them, hey, you're beautiful and I just want to be buddies, or hey, your mama's fat. You don't know what the hell you're telling them things.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're going to get as a result. I mean, you may be talking about his mama. You may be saying what you're going to do to his partner. You don't have a clue. Yes, you may solicit and absolutely get a response, but you know, especially a sure enough novice has not been with somebody that's heard the calls that provokes a response. And look, that's why me and Coonbow I talked to him yesterday. We talked about this again. This is a very, very touchy subject, because at this point, Coonbow will tell anybody. Right now, he is regretting even letting it out about the shofar. And I'm telling you straight up, I am the guy that stood right beside Coonbow when he's blown this thing a bunch of times. I have witnessed what the shofar does. I don't care very much about being around a shofar being blown. And that's me with people like Coonbow and Troy Allen and Jimmy Osmer. That's 4 of us.
It should be said that it is a specific kind of shofar with a specific amount of twists and turns that was created and blessed a certain way, and then you have to hit a specific note. Guys, for everybody in Bigfoot world knows about the shofar at this point. It's not just going on Amazon, ordering a shofar, and you go out and you blow it and boogers come into you. That is not how it works. But you should not go out and get a shofar and just go in an area where you think they might be and blow it. Because accidentally, if everything works out right for whatever reason, the stars and the planets align. Are you ready? Have you ever experienced boogers? Because if you haven't, you should not do it. If you're just curious about boogers, do not go get a shofar and just randomly blow the damn thing, because you might get lucky. And if you do get lucky, you might not be prepared for it, and it could be really bad. Cannot stress that enough.
No. It would be, to me, going out, if you had the right shofar and you knew what specific note to hit, and the planets aligned, and you called a booger in by doing what I've seen happen, that would make about as much sense if you really like watching the TV about watching Shark Week, and you get it in your mind that these people go swim with sharks, and these sharks come up and they rub down the side of them.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you get to the point. Well, I want to do that. I want to swim with sharks, and I've come up with a plan. You know, I bet if I took and made me a big necklace out of T-bone steaks and squirt blood in my wetsuit, I bet sharks would come up and they would get really close. That's kind of the deal with the shofar.
Kumbo's in the chat right now. He's like, what? What are you talking about?
Oh, Kumbo, brother, we talking about the shofar and the don'ts and the more of the don'ts with the damn shofar. Good God.
Kumbo, you missed this show. That you're a late arrival. We were getting on it.
Yeah, we're trying to caution people about, please don't buy one, don't try to borrow one.
Right.
Please just stand away from the shofar. But I mean, seriously, guys,
back away. Stop doing calls unless you know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
Stop.
Misty and I can verify that it's a scary situation, especially when you're way back away from everything on a gravel road and you don't know if they're going to push a tree down in front of you before
That wasn't blowing any shofar. That was
I did.
Being just us females back 30 minutes away from a main road or any kind of road just by ourselves. But we knew that going in that something was wrong. As soon as we started driving in, Sherry's alarm started going off, and I said, "Sherry, don't stop." She said, "I'm not." She said, "I there's something here," and I said, "I'm telling you, don't stop." And
That's
it was weird that whole night.
Yeah, y'all. I'm telling you that's the thing about it is, like, you know, I guess I could be on the fence about it. You know, if I didn't know Kumbo like a brother and hadn't stood right beside him as he's blowing the damn thing, I mean, I could see me going, well, hey, I mean, I bet I could do that. You know, man, we could get some results. But I'm telling you, when you go and you see what can happen, look, as much as I've dealt with these, look, the only way I would go with somebody blow the shofar is if I'm with Kumbo, Troy, people that I really know that I can trust. I know what's going to happen when the shit hits the old fan. And look, I'm telling you, my ass is either going to be sitting in the truck with the door already shut and just my head out the window, or I'm going to be standing there by the truck door where all I got to do is open and get in and hammer down. Because I've done witnessed it. I mean, people heard me talk about when we were at the old muscle camp up here on the river that night, y'all. Look, we couldn't get out of there quick enough. It was, and look, me and Kumbo was actually talking about that one day this week. You know, when Kumbo turned his head and looked, he goes, guys, we better go. They wasn't nobody said, nah, we're okay, or nah, I don't think so. By gosh, it was assholes and elbows getting in the truck.
House, after the motorcycle incident, right?
Yeah.
If somebody came up to you and said, hey, grab this magic flute and do it this way, and you can bring that back again, you can have that come right up to you, would you have done it?
I wouldn't go through that encounter for 50 grand. If somebody said, here's $50,000, you go back over there and go through that again, there's no way. Ain't no way I'd go through that. That day right there, that was the most horrific thing I've ever been through in my entire life. Dude, I mean, I've never had that level of fear ever. Nothing. That's the day in my life, the one pivotal point where I thought, I'm fixing to die. I'm not going to live. In the words of Jessica White, I ain't going to live to see tomorrow. But I'm telling you, it was to that point. I mean, I can't do it justice and put it in words. The amount of just brute force, power, the amount of rage, fury, any kind of word that's ever been uttered to describe just absolute just rage. That's what I was in the middle of. And that damn thing was between me and my way back to the truck. I had no out. I was trapped. I really didn't have anywhere that I could go to get away from it. I mean, I was trapped. And this thing was absolutely annihilating everything within probably a 20, 25 foot circle and it was just going back and forth, stomping and breaking stuff. It sounded like if I'm on my bulldozer and I'm pushing up brush piles, and when I'll push a tree around that's like big as a Folgers coffee can, and it hangs, and I keep pushing it, and that thing snaps and breaks. That's what it sounded. It sounded like limbs were like the volume of a gunshot, like a rifle shot breaking. And I'm watching it just like rip or jerk this big dogwood tree, and the tree's just whipping back and forth. And this thing would do that bellow, roar, scream, howl. And y'all, it was like if I had been standing in front of a CSX railroad like a locomotive and reaching out, touching the front of the train, and they laid on the horn. That's the volume. That is the absolute volume of that bellow, roar, scream, howl. And y'all, when you've got something that's so loud, and you're around 100 feet, we'll just say 100 feet from it, that thing was so loud that it would blur my vision. Me looking, I'm peeping around the tree holding my rifle, and it would start out low, and there was a part in there, and I can't really mimic the point, but my vision would be okay. I was looking, everything's clear as a bell, and as that roar just kept getting louder, it would hit a octave that my vision, it was like you were looking through binoculars, and you rotated them out of focus and then focused them back. And that's the only thing I can figure is that the vibration of that part of that sound was absolutely shaking my eyeballs.
No,
but it was. Yeah, and y'all look, and it was like the sound was like you were standing in hurricane winds. It was like I felt like if I could have looked back, like my clothing should have been like flopping, like wind was blowing it. And Alan's told people, he's told it a bunch of times. He was about 250 yards on behind me across through that old growed up thicket. And Alan's told people, even to him, it was so loud, it was hurting his ears that far away from him. But I can't explain to people, if people get excited about hearing something or getting a recording, and a recording can never do it justice. The only way it could do it justice would be if you were playing that recording, like if you had like concert speakers and the whole room is full, or look, you see these guys do the videos where they've got a car that, like, when they kick the speakers on it, it's like a bass competition, and the woman's hair is just flopping around because she's sitting in the car. That's the way that felt. It felt like it was that extreme and violent. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. And, that's what I try to tell people, and it don't get me wrong, it's astounding when you hear this from like a quarter mile, half a mile. You hear it, it's out of the way, or, it's something that you can't explain. But when you're there that close to it, and you not only hear it, but you feel the trauma, I guess, from it. It's absolutely overwhelming. But Spencer, I wouldn't wish that encounter on anybody. And that I can't, I don't care anything about living through that again, ever. And look, I had one growl at me from 6 feet as I walked by it. The one that growled at me from 6 feet as I walked right by it, that wasn't nowhere near as bad as that was.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But now, Sherry, when you were talking about like when y'all found that footprint with Abby, now when you and Donna, that one trip that y'all were here, y'all found those footprints right over here on the other side of my gas tank.
Yeah.
That Coonbo, it was a few months after that or before or something. Coonbo found footprints. Him and his dog went to walking. He found footprints in the same spot over there in that little old cleared spot.
Yeah.
He found them the same place.
Well, you saw the pictures of them, and I had a tape measure laying down beside of them. So,
and they were, how big were they? I forgot.
One was 18, wasn't it? One was 18 inches.
There was one that was huge.
I was thinking y'all said one was 18. There was what, 3 sizes?
Yeah, there's 3 different sizes.
Yeah.
There was some about 8 inches and about 13, 14, and 18.
Yeah. because we were
Yeah.
talking about felt like it was a male, female, and a juvenile.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad that when y'all came that y'all had as much experience, because they were definitely here close while y'all were here. I mean, of all the whole roller coaster of stuff that y'all got to experience while y'all were here, and that's what I tell people is, I don't call them, I don't provoke them. I mean, I will not. Ain't no way. But I mean, people come here now. Billy wasn't lucky; he didn't have anything happen, but it seems like 90% of the people that's came, see, there we go, Coombo, 17 to 18, it's a smaller one. Oh, but it absolutely warms my heart that people like y'all have come and y'all are getting a glimpse of what I get to deal with all the time.
Yeah.
And, and I know it boggles people's mind because everybody goes, well, man, if I'd have cameras or I'd be doing this or I'd be doing that. Well, if I do that, what if I piss them off? What if they decide to leave? What if they don't come back? I mean, what I'm doing seems to work, which is just like kind of acknowledging they're here, but I'm not provoking them. I'm not trying to call them. I'm not trying to bait them up. I'm not trying to sabotage anything. And is that why I'm having more than most people are ever going to experience?
I think
Because
it will know you.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Alabama is loaded. Alabama is loaded.
Yeah, Coombo,
Up here
what he said right there, he told me the other one Thursday or Friday, he told me about him and Sandy was fixing they was right there at his dadgum house fixing turn in his, when you go up there to the end of that paved road, or not the end, but the paved road goes back.
Debbie.
Debbie, look, you and Larry come down here, but I ain't gonna let you camp outside. But look, there's a queen bed right here and a queen bed right there, and there's even bunk beds in the back.
Debbie, I tried to get him to let me sleep in the Jeep out in the driveway.
I know. Whenever we first went there and we found the whenever they showed us the abandoned campsite, Misty and I were like, we're going to come back here and camp. And Greg's like, you best don't. You ain't going to. I'm not going to let you.
All right, since Coombo's in here, Coombo, would you go down there and camp in a tent where me and Mark Green found the tore up tent? I just want Coombo's answer. Do you think it would be a good idea to go down there and camp where those two tents were shredded?
Hey, Coombo has let people camp out on the point. He's camped out there with other people on his property. And
I know
that they're there.
I know.
He must not be listening.
No, you're overly cautious.
Oh my gosh. Well, look, I erred on the side of caution. That's what's kept me alive, I think.
Stop it.
I told her that's what he'd say.
See there? That's what I tell you.
You're being ridiculous. Stop it.
I'm telling you, we talked about it because I told Coombo, I talked to him on the phone. I was like, you gonna believe what Spencer wanted to do? He's like, what? I said, him and Misty's want to go down there and Mark Naval go down there and camp. He's like, they better not. I said, that's what I told him.
Yeah, Debbie, but these are like killer ones. Big difference.
Mine down here are not. These are not the Harry and the Henderson's ones. Mine's got like an attitude problem.
We started off the whole show with Billy and what happened at Hollins. We're 2.5 hours in. Yes, boogers can be different in different areas.
Yeah.
What'd he say? Oh, trying to run us off. Yes, maybe. Whatever. But it ran the other people off. It's not like people died. Anyway.
Look, I promise, Spencer, if you will drag yourself down here, drive about 8.5 hours, we'll go up there to Coombo's and we'll go camp. I'll actually go camp with you, but I'm gonna stay in my booger wagon and I'm gonna be heavily armed, and we'll let you sleep out in a sleeping bag with no tent, with peanut butter smeared in your underwear.
I did not say I was doing that.
I will say this, and it may sound weird, but there's a lot of theory behind it from where I'm studying. There's places that some boogers are that other boogers will not go into that area too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I mean, if
But-
they're afraid of some of them, then we have to pay attention to that too.
Well,
Right.
let me touch on this. That's like Troy Allen. Troy's told me this probably 500 times. Like his grandpa, you know, I mean, we're talking about multi-generations of Troy's family on this farm. But just down the road from his grandparents' farm was a big swamp. And he said that those boogers that stayed on their farm, that they would absolutely, like when that swamp would, like a big rain, it'd be a big flood. It was like the troop of boogers on their farm would absolutely move away, and like a different troop from that swamp would be pushed out of the swamp. And when they would come in, they would run their boogers off. And he said that's when they had a lot of bad stuff go on. And he said they were just different.
I've seen evidence of possible dogman coming into an area and boogers being run off. I've seen stuff where it looked like one group, troop, whatever you want to call them, was in a certain spot, and then it's like all of the shit changed. 6 months later, it was different structure, it different tracks. I don't know about all of that. I'm telling y'all now, though, you don't treat the subject lightly. I mean, you have to be careful about it. Nobody knows exactly how all this stuff works.
No.
Well,
Now that
I think there is people, but they're not going to tell us, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Well, they probably are.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
Troy and Kumbo are probably the best.
I'm saying government wise, they know.
Yeah.
But they share it with us, and that's great. I mean, because
I think they'll eventually admit to it. But in my opinion, I think before it happens, and if it really starts coming out, I think they'll wind up being like put on an endangered species list or something to where they're kind of protected before
they'll
it
make it
actually
look like
winds
they're
up
just an
coming out,
ape.
if it ever does.
They'll make it look
Kumbo.
like they're just an ape.
Kumbo, do you mean the monkey face, like Gugwe type, like the Beast of Seven Shoots, or do you mean Dogman?
Yeah.
Are you talking about both the same thing? What are you talking about there? Because I mean, I agree with that. Hell, I ain't saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to understand exactly what you mean. And why would they go to the same place? Do they go to the same place because it's already been inhabited by the boogers and the food supplies there? You know, are they just waiting for an excuse to come in there? Anyway, I guess that's a lot for you to type back since you can't get on.
Spencer, in case you hadn't kept up with it, like what Joyce is dealing with down there where she lives. She lives on past Flat Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got pictures that she's took of some stuff that I don't want to deal with for damn sure. I mean, look, I don't know how she even goes outside. I mean, she's either got dogmen or type threes down there.
I've seen Miss Bama's stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wander around a lot farther than the Bigfoot types. Okay. I don't know. Y'all wanna have a show where here Kumbo's reading the comments and he's listening to us live right now. Y'all comment back. You want to have a show where Kumbo explains how all of this stuff happens and like this type moves in one place and the next type moves in, and he can talk about why you shouldn't use the damn shofar and all of that kind of stuff. Go ahead, light up in the comments. He's reading it.
2 thumbs up. Yes.
Yes, I want him to come on and say why you shouldn't just consider these friendly forest giants and go out and do calls and do the shofar and all that kind of crap. That's my.
Yeah.
I want him to He said we can do. Okay.
Before I forget something very important that I want to bring up, Brother Billy.
Yes.
Are you still doing your your Bible reading thing on? How are you doing that? Are you doing it? You're doing like you were doing like a program or something. Isn't that right?
You talking about my morning thing?
Yes, your morning thing.
No, it's just something I started doing that like 6 years ago, man, and it was just to try to give people a jump start in the morning.
Yeah,
Give them a little, positive, let them know there's a little hope, and
just for those of y'all that don't know, Billy goes out and does like food banks and brings people to church and helps out people in his neighborhood and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that's what I wanted to talk about was if Billy was still doing it. I just want to know how people could tune in.
I only share it to my friends on my friends list because when it was public, you had all kinds, every kind of person in the world jumping on, talking junk.
Yeah. Okay.
It was just a pain in the butt. I tried to go worldwide like with it, to anybody, but I wound up having to change that.
Okay. Well, I didn't know.
You should go live on Facebook Live. And for all of your Facebook friends, I'm just you ain't got to, but you should do it. And you should put it out there for people that want to participate. All you're doing is spreading God's word. And I don't care if I say that on YouTube. I mean, screw them if they don't, if they've got some kind of opinion against that. But you should have no fear about that and put it out there, Facebook Live, or hell, start your own YouTube channel if you want to. Good luck, though. It's a pain in the butt.
I'm not much interested. I don't even care to be doing this, if you'll know the truth.
Well, brother, we proud you on here. There ain't no doubt.
Yes, well, thank you for doing this.
That's like 2 weeks ago when I came on. I thought I was getting on to share. I think the topic was new people you meet along the way.
Yep.
That lasted about 10 minutes. Next thing I know, I'm starting to tell this story. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted Sherry and Donna to have equal time, tell their story, know what I saw. But my phone rang till like 12 o'clock that night. I'm still answering phone calls at midnight. Honestly, never got off the couch but to go to the bathroom.
I told y'all. For Chad and Erica, thank you for doing the show. Sorry that we segued at that show. Chad and Erica are awesome. If y'all don't know them, go jump on that. Of course, Sherry and Donna, we've been talking to them for years. Sherry, Donna, Misty, Mr. Jim. I mean, all of them. Guys, everything that was said on the show today from these people is the honest God truth. I'd vouch for that in a heartbeat. I know them personally. There ain't nobody saying anything that was not actually it. There's a lot to go over with what happened at that meet and greet. And I doubt we do many more shows on it because it was a while ago and we got other stuff to talk about. But hey, next time we do a meet and greet, you should definitely jump in there. We had stuff at the first one, stuff at the second one. And I'm not saying we're the secret sauce in the recipe or anything like that. Maybe we just got lucky and picked the right place at the right time. I don't know. But everybody in this group is good people. And you should look at everybody that's in this group and consider what they're saying.
I like what Twisted said a while ago. She said, that we needed have a journal. Like if somebody experienced something, like the next morning, let them write it down. Or either we need to do like an interview, like just a recording, video it. If somebody do it day by day and just keep kind of running past what's going on.
Makes sense.
If there was a way I don't know how you would do it. And I'm not particularly computer savvy. I don't know how you would do it, but like a combination of stuff like the YouTube. Okay, so Squirrel, myself, Greg, and Roger, right? We've got like a group text where we text each other. And we are also talking to all of these people that are doing YouTube shows. And we're also getting information on emails and stuff like that. And we're trying to put it all together like where it makes sense. Because if we're not there, we're talking to people, we're understanding what they're saying and everything. If you could see that, that is 1/10. What?
Kumbo, you got a friend request in your mailbox on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, or if you want my number, Greg or Spencer can get it to
I'll
you.
send it to him right now.
Okay.
We were just waving at Verby, Spencer. Sorry.
I saw somebody else. Sandy Williams. Look me up on Facebook. Billy Schilling, SHILLING.
Everybody needs to friend Billy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of time to do that Facebook stuff. I'm telling you. I guess everybody thinks I'm social, but I just don't have time.
There's no way to organize this where every little bit of it makes sense. Hey, you want to know the best way to like follow all of this kind of stuff? Be friends with all of us on Facebook. Go to the meet and greets. Like just everybody be family. Mm-hmm. And you'll get it passed around. I mean, every single one of us on here right now, we would drive to the other person's house and help them take care of whatever needed to be done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
We communicate every which way, and we put on a damn YouTube show, and this is what y'all get.
I mean, look here, Kumbo will drive you 500 miles, just take you home.
Yes, he would, like Gary Spikes. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Great respect for Kumbo over that.
You know what? Hey, look, Robin.
I respected the man anyway, but great respect.
Hey, Robin will take somebody on a trip 500 miles and go through hell.
Absolutely.
If you can clear
Misty will drop everything she's doing, haul Spencer's dead weight up back home so he can go home and sleep in his own bed.
You're right.
Spend 8 hours.
Yep.
That's what you do, though, ain't it? I mean, and
that's what you do.
Right. Any of us that do it for any of us.
Look, I can tell you straight up, anybody on this screen right here, right now, needed me. All I can tell you, I can give you a rough guesstimate how long it take me to grab my shit and get in the truck. I'm on the way.
That's right.
I believe that.
That's right.
I believe that.
What was Billy? You and I were talking about, like, hey, you know, with the past snowstorm and the ice apocalypse, we were talking about, man, I've gotten more calls from out of state asking me, like,
absolutely. I had one from this area other than you. And I bet you I had 15, 20 from Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama, them 3 states. Yeah. I bet it was 15, 20 people call, you know, you all right? You got power? You know? And when Greg said, I'll get my stuff and be right there, you think I don't believe that?
Yeah.
And he better believe I'll be at his place too.
Just tell me what I need to bring. What have I got that you need? Because if I got it, it's the same as you having it.
That's saying, man. You've already showed me that, you know. Mm-hmm. You already showed me that. Misty said, I'm gonna ask her, hey, do I have to come out there and take you to the doctor?
Look,
I want you to get well, you know.
They tried every way. I was sick. I think I had pneumonia, and I would not go to the doctor. I'd feel better, then it'd go away. I'd feel better, and then it'd come back. So Greg's like, do you need money? I'll pay for it. I'm like, no, it's not that. I'm fine.
Buy you a sucker if he gives you a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you a sticker.
Look, I told her, I said, I can be there in 5 hours. I'm bringing cash. We'll take you to the doctor. And I promise when you leave, I'll get you a sucker and we'll stop and get you ice cream on the way home.
Did you fall for it?
No,
No.
Y'all, I swear to y'all, I sat in that chair for 3 days. I mean, I was standing on ready and rocking on go to get in my truck, not saying shit to nobody, just pulling up at her house and going, get your ass in, we'll go to the hospital. I mean, I was at that point. It was like, she's going to lay her ass up there and be petting the damn goat and die.
I was sick, but I mean, it was taking everybody weeks to get over. And that's when all that walking pneumonia was going around.
Yeah. Look, you was down to damn crawling pneumonia. Well, all right, look, give us a damn goat report. We ain't had a goat report in like a month.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all, I don't even know. Like, I must have apparently decided she's about
It's
to have
online.
these babies 2 weeks after she got bred.
She does every time she's gonna have goats, she never knows when they're gonna be born.
This goat is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life about watching and showing signs of, normal. Anybody that's got farm animals, if you watch your animals, you know when they start showing signs of when they're going into labor. This goat, no, that's not the way it works with her. Like, she has every sign there is months ahead of time, and then the next day, like, she won't show anything. And then it'll be another week, and then she'll start back into her like showing all these signs like she's good. I don't know. I give up. If she has them, I don't even. I feed her and check on her 3 or 4 times a day. Other than that, what happens?
I think that goat had that pig.
Yeah,
we are not talking about them goat having puppies on this show. This is
had a pig, didn't have puppies.
Just wait till she does. I'm gonna bring them in, and we're gonna do a whole show with them. Just
ain't gonna have no babies. You were wrong about the whole thing.
He's going to have babies, or I'm going to go buy babies, and she's going to have them.
That'll be
she's having babies.
This is worse. This is worse than everybody wanting the government to release the Epstein list.
Yeah,
over here.
It's not happening.
Spencer, when she sent that text message about her getting the pig, how big did you roll your eyes and start chuckling like I did?
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, that's what she needs, another animal.
Oh my gosh.
No, right now she's like, yeah, that pig is a terror, and we're definitely going to eat that pig. Everybody that watches the show, mark my words, that pig will be a pet, and 2 years from now, that pig will still be alive.
That pig will die from old age.
Yeah.
Spencer don't know me very well, does he, girls? I
Oh,
told Mom about the last pig I raised. They said I wouldn't eat.
She lies. She lies.
Bitch, bring that pig to the next meet and greet.
I'll just put it this way. I think I scarred JR and Mom and everybody for the rest of their life on how you clean a hog.
That's why JR sleeps in the closet with the door locked.
I'll put it this way. He went to go get a sawzall so we could remove the head, and by the time he got back, I was holding it like this. I had twisted it completely off.
We are not hold on. We are not turning this is not a night owl show. We're not turning this.
Yeah, I'm eating the pig. You don't know what you're talking about. I like bacon.
I know you, and I know you're shit. We've gone 2.5 hours or over. Stop talking about the pig. This is not night owls. Y'all need to do it, night owls.
Hey, when are we doing a night owls?
I don't know. I can't do it tonight. We've got Morgan and Jonathan coming over here in like close to 30 minutes. They're going to eat supper with us. So I don't know that I'll be able to do it tonight. If we get a chance, we might randomly pop on. Who knows? But as of right now, I'm not planning to do one tonight because I don't know when they'll leave.
Tell Morgan to drop by and get their rings from Christmas. I've got them.
Okay.
Sherry's on a YouTube show. Tell Morgan to stop buying her.
Hey, I've
It's
had
communication, brother.
them since after Christmas, and I can't get in touch with her.
If that doesn't say for everybody in YouTube land, if that doesn't say that we're all family, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
Missy
Hey,
the heads of pigs, and JR's going to get blades, and
Well,
Sherry.
I didn't even want to. You don't understand. Like, I raised these, like hand raised them, and I could walk up to the fence and they expected food or whatever. And my mom's like, you don't have to do it. I'm like, Mom, will you just go the frig away? I'm like, I can't have you over my shoulder going, you don't have to do it. It's okay. And when I'm sitting here trying to get rid of this and so we can eat it, I got to watch what I say. And so
I got
what?
1 year. 1 year from right now. Let's see if it's still alive.
it ain't gonna make it. No, I think you probably will.
Deer that you feed blueberries and Cheez-Its that gives you sugars all the time, because I don't see them in your freezer.
No, well, I didn't fucking feed them, did I? And you're not gonna shoot that damn.
But they ate your garden, all your plants that you planted, all your herbs.
And
I had a
didn't
chicken that I had gave my papa, and it was over here and it got in my tomatoes. I said, the next time this chicken gets one of my tomatoes, I said, I'm shooting it. Well, you know what happened the next morning? I got up to go get my tomatoes. They had been pecked on. You know what I did? I came in and got a 22, unloaded it, and I didn't have a chicken problem anymore. I had to deal with my papa telling me that I had gave him that chicken, then I shot it.
1 year. 1 year.
Hey, look, if you can't eat tomatoes, you can eat fried chicken.
Do what?
I said, if you can't eat tomatoes, you can eat fried chicken.
Hey, I'm telling
I'm telling you, I named her Pig. I don't know what she's calling it, but I call it Chris.
I don't call it anything. I don't name the animals I plan on eating. I take care of them. They're treated just like pets.
Yeah.
Everything should be. I don't think just because you're going to eat something that it needs to be raised like it's going to be ate. It needs to have a happy life while it's alive. You are to take care of it and treat it just like you would any other animal.
I'm just scared that's the way
you don't know what's going to be done to it.
I'm afraid that's the way JR feels.
That's
That
explains
a lot
look at
about how
everything
she
like that.
me.
Poor JR.
That's exactly how she treats me.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Spencer, you taste funny. I don't.
No doubt. But anyway, no joke. I'm telling you, the pig, I'm naming it officially Chris P. Bacon.
Yeah.
I'm naming it your pet. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We got to get off here. It's been like 3 hours.
I've enjoyed it.
I'm just amazed that people sit and listen to this.
No, I've enjoyed it, y'all. I'm proud that y'all got on here and told everybody about what happened, and and that's it. That's all you can do is get on here and be honest and tell people what y'all experienced, and try to be in as vivid a detail as you can. And I mean, I think y'all all done really great on explaining it out, and and really at the end, it's just what people choose to believe. But my deal is, look, I know these people personally. I mean, I've spent the night with them. They spent the night here. I look at them as family, and I know there's nobody up. There's nothing to gain from embellishing, making up nothing. I mean, you take these people at their word. I mean, these people are honest as the day is long. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all coming on.
Thank you.
Billy, thank you for getting on here and talking about everything that you did. Sherry, Donna, love you. Thank you for putting your part into it and everything. Y'all, I'm sorry if it was complicated, like going over this. It was a complicated thing, even in real life, with a bunch of people. I mean, I don't know what way to have this explained any bit better. I would tell you this: if you're not friends with all of them on like Facebook and everything, you never been out with us, go friend them on Facebook and get to know us and everything. Go out with us at some point and see what we're talking about. And this was a meet and greet, which is way different than going out boogering on our own. But anyway, hope y'all got something out of the show. Thank y'all for being on here and talking about what you did. Appreciate it. Love y'all.
Hey,
Yeah,
look.
thank you guys. Seriously.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I was
But
just
hey,
gonna
don't-
tell you, I got to holler and tell Walker happy birthday. Today's his 14th birthday.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday, Walker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for having us. Yeah, we love y'all.
Look, hey, I'll tell your youngins or your grand youngins that we're gonna be up there in April.
Oh,
Abby's
dude,
got
they
a
doesn't
phone.
know. They are excited as can be.
Awesome. But yeah, we'll see y'all soon in person. But look, guys, anybody that's new to watching this, I mean, look, there's a lot of other channels that I mean we look at as family. Y'all jump over, check them out. It's gonna be a lot of the same people in live chat. But I mean, there's a lot of good shows out there. So please jump over and just check them out. But I mean, you got DA Roberts, DA Ex Machina. Get over there on him.
Yep.
Mark and Rebecca Green at Cedar Creek Bottoms Farmstead Life. Definitely check out Roger Williams. Brother Roger still gimped up with his hip, but he got good news so far. Squatch and Holler, check him out. He's gonna have a real good show this week. Real good show, looks like.
Old Line
Y'all
Cryptids.
Yeah, Old Line. Definitely go check out Beards and Booger Party, Old Line Cryptids. I mean,
Muddy
I know
Creek Podcast.
yes, Miss V, go check her out.
What
Y'all
did
help
she
me out
change
here.
her show to? Miss V, what did she change her show to?
Muddy Creek
Muddy.
Podcast.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been trying to find it. I couldn't.
Yeah,
Okay.
and look, y'all, even jump over there and check out House Enoch. Go look at. I mean, Kane doesn't do a podcast. Look, I'm telling y'all, if you're wanting to learn something about Bigfoot and you're not following Kane Michael, you are messing up. Get over there and check Kane out. So we got to get us some banner, y'all. We need a banner. Ticker across.
We have a banner right there.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I'm talking about
Wait. We said our country goodbyes, our everything else. Greg, stop.
good night, John boy.
Y'all keep on, the pig's gonna die.
Greg trying to go.
And the
I'm
goat is
bored.
going to be born.
I'm gonna have to go fix supper now. But look,
We
big
love
love,
you
everybody.
guys. Thank you, seriously.
Thank y'all for
I'm
listening
gonna
to
go
us.
help JR cook because we got the kids coming, but we'll talk to you later.
All
Nothing but
right.
love.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Night, John boy.
Night, Mary Ellen.
Squirrel.
Hey y'all. Hey Spencer. We're swapped
Hello.
around again.
Huh?
We're swapped around again.
Yep. I know you do it on purpose.
There it is.
Was that?
But who's still on here? All right.
Just us lonely people.
Did Billy jump off?
Yeah, he did. Hey, Greg,
What?
y'all are going to be here Saturday night, aren't you? You're coming Saturday after the parade?
Well, I just whatever works out. I don't know what they've got to do or what this or that, but I know we're gonna get by there and see y'all. I think Wanda's made reservations for us to stay at that Big Bear Lodge or something, lodge thing for us to stay. As far as I know, that's what they're planning. But definitely, look, I don't know what. I guess I'll find. They keep my ass in the dark. I feel like a mushroom. I'm in the dark and they feed me a bunch of shit.